Hey guys, welcome to this awesome DVD on hypnosis. We're going to cover everything you need to know to build your own hypnosis show from beginning to end. Absolutely everything you need to go from wherever you are now to having a full hypnosis show. I've been using hypnosis for the last 10 years to make a living alongside magic and mentalism. The advantage of hypnosis is that once you have a good, strong show that you're confident with, you don't really need any props. It's extremely travel friendly and it's a lot of fun. People love hypnosis shows. In this DVD, we're going to cover everything from how to start up right in the beginning. What do you say when you come out on stage? How to actually do the hypnosis part, which is called the induction, and then how to actually structure a hypnosis show. This is what I've learned over years of performing hundreds of shows a year, and I hope you enjoy it, so stick around. I'm going to make this as comprehensive as possible, and yeah, let's start this. So the great advantage that this DVD gives you that I didn't have when I was starting up is that there's somebody who actually does it who's showing you how to do it. You're going to get bits from my show here where you're actually going to see what I do on stage. And that's great. That's going to reduce your learning curve a lot. Once you have this, once you're confident with it, once you've learned the material, you've written your scripts, practice, practice, practice. That's going to help you so much. Go out, get some friends together and practice as much as you can. It took me a long time originally, I'm going to be honest, to be able to do this because I was learning in books and I didn't know what I was doing wrong. You're going to see what you're supposed to be doing in this DVD. Therefore, it's going to make it so much easier for you than it was for me. All you got to do is go out and practice what you learn in this DVD as much as you can. And after a couple of weeks, honestly, this should start working for you really effectively. And I'm going to try to make sure on this DVD that you get everything you need to make sure that happens as quickly and as easily as possible. So before we get into this, guys, before you learn any of this stuff, I want to talk about ethics. And ethics as it applies to two things. First of all, ethics as it applies to hypnotizing people. Second of all, ethics when it comes to taking what you learn in this DVD. So first of all, ethics when it comes to hypnotizing people. You're about to learn something that I consider to be almost a superpower. You have the ability to put people in this trance, in this state where you can get them to do a lot of pretty crazy stuff. Do not misuse this ability, please. Do your shows, be respectful about it. Do material that will engage people and have fun with people without embarrassing people. That's not the goal. And always get somebody's consent before you do this. Never tell somebody like, oh yeah, let me just do some relaxation techniques on you and hypnotize them and use that to your advantage. It's such a terrible thing ethically. So please use this stuff responsibly. It's kind of like learning pickpocketing. We learn this stuff for entertainment. Please keep that in mind. So the second thing is the ethics of the material you're going to learn on this DVD. In this DVD, you're going to see my exact induction, the one I've been using for the better part of 10 years. You're going to see bits from my show. Now, in the beginning, if you want to use exactly my induction, if you want to use exactly my skits, that's fine. If you want to get comfortable with it and you want to use time-tested things that I've done, that's fine to get you comfortable. But once you have that comfort, once you understand what's happening in people's minds when you're using this hypnosis stuff, for the sake of originality, for the sake of just expanding the art, write your own stuff, write your own induction, tailor it to you, write your own skits and bits, because what I find funny, what I could present isn't necessarily what'll be better for your show. We're all different. With hypnosis, sky's the limit. Like I do something in my show with superheroes. I love superheroes. Maybe you don't. Write something that you connect with. That way your show will be better and we have more original shows out there. Because the last thing I want is to come to one of your shows one day and see a replica of my show up there. There's no reason for that. Let's get creative, guys. So have fun. Learn it as it is in the beginning, and then make it your own. Okay, so when we talk about hypnosis, most people make the mistake of thinking that the most important part is the induction, when you put them to sleep. That is false. The induction is about, I would say, 30, tops 40% of the importance. Almost the entire importance, like almost all of it, is the pre-show. Everything you do and say before you bring them up. If by the time the volunteers come up, they believe in you and they feel comfortable up there, 80% of your battle is already won. I would say that pre-show, is like 60% of the importance, like it's the majority of it. But in reality, if you do it right, 80 to 90% of your work is already done. I know that doesn't make sense, but Trust me on this. Just fly with me. So in your pre-show, there are 4 elements that you have to pepper into your pre-show. And when I say pre-show, I mean everything from the second the audience is sitting down to when they're on stage and they're going to get hypnotized. This means the introduction, the person who's going to introduce you, what you say when you come out, the way you dress, your promotional material have to enforce these 4 things. I know it looks like there's 3 letters here, ICE, but C actually stands for 2 things. So this is an anagram I came up with myself, ICE it's called, and it's 4 things that if you can have a lot of in your pre-show, meaning everything before they come up on stage, the battle is almost already won. Let's look at what I, C, and E stand for. We'll start with I. Informative. So your pre-show talk, your pre-show speech has to be informative. It has to inform them about what hypnosis is and what hypnosis is not. A lot of people heard myths about hypnosis. Oh, you only get hypnotized if you want to be hypnotized. Oh, you can't do anything under hypnosis that you wouldn't normally do. You have to address these things. You have to educate them. And the reason for this is, if you seem informed, you seem like you know what you're doing. In other words, if I took a really good actor and I gave them my pre-show speech and they memorized it and delivered it with confidence, they should be able to hypnotize somebody. When you sound informed, they trust you. If you come out and you're like, so hypnosis is something that was invented, I think, in the 20s or something like that, and I think it's got to do something with your unconscious mind, but I'm not really sure, and you, it's sort of like you talk to someone and then they're going to be like, who is this guy? Why doesn't he know what he's talking about? And you lose their confidence in you, which brings me to C. The first part of C is confidence. Now, that moment is going to come where you're going to do your first show. Do not let your audience ever know that it's your first show. You need to look confident. You've done this a million times before. You're going to do it a million times again. If you're confident and informative, they look at you and they feel comforted. So, these 3 are absolutely huge. Informative, confident, and comforting. I'm going to write comforting because that's what it needs to be. So, look at how that naturally sort of progresses. If you're informed and you're confident, they feel comfortable. And that's what they need to feel. Your ultimate goal is this, comforting. When they come up on that stage to be hypnotized, they need to know 100% sure that you've done this before, you know what you're doing, and you're just such a champ at this. If you're unconfident, if they could see that you're not informed, you're not really sure what you're doing, you're done. Game over. Now, this isn't only in what you say. It's a big part of what you say, but it's also your look. Don't go up on stage looking like a slob. Be well put together. Look confident. Well, you know, it's so important. Like, sometimes street magicians have this casual look. That doesn't work for hypnosis. Look good. Look great. Also, when you have the person introducing you to come on stage, or maybe even if it's at a party, and the host is, you know, make sure that the person who's going to introduce you to the group has a few nice things to say about you. I've seen this guy's amazing. If you have any accolades, have you been on television? Have you been in a newspaper? Anything like that. Do you have any accomplishments? Do you have a YouTube video with a lot of views? Even if your accomplishments are in magic, it's okay. Sneak them into hypnosis. I used to do that. When I got started in hypnosis, I had a lot of accomplishments in mentalism, and people would mention that. You know, TV appearances. It doesn't really matter. It comforts them. It lets them know that you are good at what you do. So, from what they're saying about you to what you are saying about yourself, and you're going to see later, I'm going to do my whole pre-show talk, you're going to see little elements in there of me comforting them, of seeming confident, and informing them. It's peppered all over my pre-show talk, which is what you say before you get your volunteers. Third one, extremely important. Entertaining. I don't care how informative and confident you are, if you're boring, they're not going to like you. You got to engage them. They got to be like, this guy's awesome, he knows what he's talking about, he looks so comfortable out there, that's making me comfortable, and he's so funny, I'm excited to do this. So from the second you hit that stage, get that energy up, get some music going, get them excited about what you're going to do. In fact, that could almost be another E, excitement. You know what I mean? So get that vibe going. So here's the thing. You walk out on stage, you welcome them to the show, and then you do what we call the pre-show talk. You're going to see 2 versions of that. You're going to see the studio version now of me just reciting it to you, and you're going to see my actual pre-show talk from a show. Look for these elements in there. You're going to be able to see when I'm being informative, when I'm being confident, and when I'm being entertaining. If you're at a smaller gathering, here's a great way to be entertaining, confident, and informative. Do a nice mentalism trick. Don't know any? Learn some. They're all over the place. Not a magic trick, a nice mentalism trick. Something that lets them know, okay, this guy's got something going on. He understands how I think. That is extremely comforting, and it's also very entertaining. So that could be your lead-in, a really nice mentalism trick before you get into the hypnosis. It also gets you a little more comfortable, starting with something you know. So there it is, guys. The 4 elements of a great pre-show talk. Now we're going to go to my pre-show talk. I'm going to tell you, word for word, exactly what I say before I get the people up on stage. And you're going to be able to see where all these little things come into play. So here is my pre-show talk in studio, word for word. This is what I say when I come out on stage. So I come out, I say hi to the audience. What's up, guys? How you doing? Get that energy up. I do a suggestibility test, which we're going to talk about in the next chapter. And then here's what they hear. Okay, so let me just try to get in, like I'm on stage, there's my audience over here. So we do the suggestibility test. We do a suggestibility test, which you're going to learn about later. And immediately after that, I talk about the unconscious mind, and here's what I say. I say, there are 20 chairs on stage behind me. In a few short moments, I'm going to invite some of you to come join me on stage to try one of the most relaxing things that you've ever experienced. That's comforting and informative, what I just said. I've informed them that this is relaxing, and I'm comforting them. You're going to feel relaxed up here, and a lot of you are going to come up here. But before we do that, there are 3 questions that I want to answer. 3 questions that I hear all the time that I want to get out of the way. First question. If I come on stage, am I going to be passed out? The answer is no. You're not passed out. You're there, you're conscious, you know what's going on, you just don't care. It's as simple as that. The second question I hear all the time is, are you going to make me take off my clothes? The answer is no. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do under hypnosis. Now, if taking off your clothes is something you want to do, that's a different subject altogether. We'll talk about it after the show, but that doesn't happen on my stage. My goal is to have a good time with everybody. I don't want to embarrass anybody. Third question. I get this all the time, and I love hearing this question because this question just makes me feel smart, and I see it coming too. There's always like this little group of people, and they're all scared of me, and one of them builds up the courage to come see me and ask me this question. What happens if I don't wake up? What if I get stuck? If you get stuck, it's a different state, okay? It's not called hypnosis, it's called death. That gets such a great laugh, always. Guys, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've hypnotized thousands of people. Everybody woke up. There isn't a guy stuck as a monkey in the Bahamas because I couldn't wake him up from the time that I was there. Everyone I ever hypnotized is doing just fine right now. So please don't worry about getting stuck. It just doesn't happen. See what I did there? One question I answered, it had some jokes, it was comforting, and it was informative. Now they're like, okay, I can't get stuck, I'm not passed out, my clothes are going to stay on, I'm not going to get embarrassed. So I've informed them about what hypnosis is. They feel comforted. I seem confident with all this stuff, saying things like I've been doing this for 10 years, hypnotized thousands of people, and it's very entertaining. Let's keep going with the pre-show speech. So here I do another suggestibility test. It's the one with the light and heavy arms. So you can refer to that one in the next chapter. So I say, I want to do a test now. So here's how I lead into it. I go, I want to do a test now. I want to see who amongst you have the 3 things that you need in order to be hypnotized. The 3 things that you need to be hypnotized are imagination, creativity, and intelligence. If you have the right mix of those 3 things, you're an excellent candidate for hypnosis. So this is the part where I find my stars in the audience. And so now I do the light and heavy test, which you're going to learn in the next chapter. So let's just assume we did that, the whole light and heavy test. Now I say, open your eyes, take a look around. There are 2 kinds of people in the audience. Those who are like this, oh my God, my arm is flying. And those of you who are like this. Here's my point. If there's even a foot of difference between your 2 arms, you are an excellent candidate for hypnosis, and you should be on this stage. Because if there was a big difference between your arms, you're going to get hypnotized out there in the audience anyways, and I don't want to have to come get you. That's just a bingo bango. That's you're informing them that they might fall asleep in the audience. You seem confident that you're going to get them. It's comforting because it's like, you're a great subject, come on up, and it's entertaining because it's like, you're going to fall asleep and I don't want to have to come get you. So now that we've done the suggestibility test, we're almost ready to get them on stage. Here's just one little bit that you'll see in my pre-show talk where I say the following. Now, before you guys come up here, there's a couple of restrictions. First of all, if you've been drinking tonight, please don't come up on stage because chances are you're already hypnotized. That gets a great laugh. Plus, it informs them if they've been drinking, don't come up on stage. You go. So I say this way. I go, you're already hypnotized. It doesn't matter what I say. You're still going to take off your clothes and do a little dance for us. So that gets the mood kind of light, you know. Second of all, if you have any chronic movement-associated pains, back pains, muscle pains, joint pains, do not come on stage because there's a lot of movement up here. Informative, confident. Pregnant ladies. If we have any pregnant ladies in the audience, do not come on stage. Once again, there's a lot of movement up here. And last but not least, if you have any anxiety-related issues to the point where you're medicated, do not come on stage. Hypnosis is very relaxing and can often cure anxiety, but the fact of being in front of an audience with lights and stuff, that could trigger an episode, and we don't want that. Again, look how informed you sound here and how concerned for them you sound, which is comforting. It sounds like you care for them. You know, if you have movement pains, don't come up here. I don't want you to hurt yourself. That's very comforting and informative. There's a couple of jokes in there. So what a great little bit of sort of restriction, but at the same time, information. And then you go, but if none of that is your case, you want to have a good time with me here today, there was a good difference between your arms when we did that little game, come on up, grab a chair, I'm waiting for you. And now they just rush up there. Now they come in, they're sitting down. You're about to start your induction. Within the induction, there's another part where I speak to the audience, which I guess is technically part of the induction. It still uses ice, but we'll get to that in the induction. So now, you've done your pre-show talk, you've informed them, you've seemed confident, they're comforted, they're entertained, they're excited. I want to add that here, exciting. They're excited, they're entertained, they're ready, they're up there, and now it's time for the induction, which we're going to go in depth after we talk about suggestibility tests. So there it is, guys. Everything you need for a pre-show speech, you're going to see my pre-show speech right now on stage. And look out for these things. Try to make notes in your head of when I'm being informative, when I'm being confident, when I'm being comforting, and when I'm being entertaining. And then write your own pre-show.
Guys, I'm so excited to be here, as I said earlier. Let's start with a game. Listen up, this is very important. I need everybody, even the ones in the back, to hear this. So out of respect, let's try to keep it down. We're going to play a game. Everybody put your right hand up like this. Everybody do this. Everybody, keep it down so you can hear me. It's very important. Hold up one finger like this. Poke your friends. Okay, stop doing that. That's annoying. Don't do that. Hands up. Make an excellent sign like this. Everybody do this. Everyone do this. Make an excellent sign where your thumb and index are touching, your other three fingers are up. Okay, now listen up, guys. It's very important for this exercise. It's not important to watch what I'm doing. It's important to listen to what I'm saying. So shush. Listen. It's so important to hear what I'm saying. Again, you got to follow what I'm saying. Let's try this. We're all going to start by making clockwise circles like this. Clockwise circles. Everyone. Counterclockwise. Shh, listen up. You got to hear me. Don't talk because you're going to miss what I'm saying. Counterclockwise. Back to clockwise. Back to clockwise. Good. Bring your hand right up to your chin like this. Great. Listen up, guys. Hands up. Clockwise circles again. Clockwise. Counterclockwise. A little bigger, a little faster. Clockwise. A little smaller, a little slower. Listen up. Once again, bring your hands right up to your cheek. Who's on their chin? Okay, settle down. How many of you, with a show of hands, how many of you actually went to the chin? Yeah, most of you. Yeah. Here's the thing, why does that work? I mean, it's so simple. Like I said like 5 times, I said go to your cheek. Like I said, you have to listen to what I'm saying, and I said go to your cheek. Why do most of us go to the chin? There's 2 reasons. First reason is because most of us, ever since we're little, when we follow somebody, we use our eyes, then our ears. This is so deeply embedded in our minds that we don't have a choice. We can't fight it. We use our eyes first, then our ears. The second reason is because I said, once again, bring your hand up to your. It didn't matter what I said, your mind made an assumption. Your unconscious mind assumed that I meant chin, and that's why your hand went there. I just wanted to prove one simple point, guys. Sometimes the unconscious mind makes the decisions, and the conscious mind can't do anything about it. That's all hypnosis is. It's not voodoo, it's not magic. In a few short moments, there are 30 chairs on stage. It will be filled with those of you who are ready to have a good time tonight, relax, but at the same time just feel this really awesome sensation. But before we do that, there are 3 questions I want to answer, 3 questions I want to get out of the way. Because these are questions I hear a lot as a hypnotist, and I just want to cover them right now. First question, I hear this all the time. Am I going to be passed out? The answer is no. You will not be passed out. When you're on stage, you're there, you're conscious, you know what's going on, you just don't care. That's it. Second question. Are you gonna make me take off my clothes? Guys, I promise your clothes will remain at all times in a neat little pile in the corner over there. Oh. I'm kidding. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do under hypnosis. Now, if taking off your clothes is something you want to do, that's a whole different subject entirely. We'll talk about after the show, but that doesn't have any place on my stage. So don't worry about that. It doesn't happen, guys. My goal is not to embarrass anybody, it's to have a good time with everyone. So do not worry about doing anything that's totally embarrassing. It's just not the goal here. Third question. This is my favorite one. I love this question. I love hearing this question because this question makes me feel good about myself. And I always see it coming. It's always like a little group of people, and they're all frightened to talk to me. And then one of them builds up the courage, runs over to me. Excuse me, Mr. Spidey, Spider-Man. What happens if I don't wake up? What if I get stuck? If you get stuck, it's a different state, okay? It's not called hypnosis. There's a different word for it. It's called death. Don't worry about it. Been a hypnotist for 10 years. I've hypnotized tens of thousands of people, and they all woke up. There isn't a guy running around in the Bahamas like a monkey from the time I was there on tour that I couldn't wake up. It's impossible. If you were to be stuck in hypnosis, you'd be the first reported case in history to be stuck in hypnosis, so I don't want you to worry about that. There are a few restrictions before you come up here. First of all, I know this is rare, but if there's any pregnant ladies in the audience, do not come on stage. It's very important. Second of all, if you have any movement pains, muscular pains or joint pains, anything associated with movement, do not come on stage. Once again, a lot of movement up here. Don't want that. Third of all, speaking of joints, if you're under the influence of any substances tonight, do not come on stage. Because odds are you're already hypnotized. Don't matter what I say, you're gonna take off your clothes and show us your naked strut anyway, so really it doesn't matter, forget it. Finally, if you have anxiety to the point where you've been medicated, don't come on stage. Hypnosis is a very relaxing procedure, but the lights, the stage, the people might trigger something. We don't want that. If that's not the case, and if there was a good difference between your arms, wait. I have a feeling, based on recent evidence, that a lot of you are going to come up here. If there's more people than there are chairs, it doesn't matter, stand up behind the chairs. Come now, go, let's do this.
Okay, so here is suggestibility tests and convincers, which are kind of the same but also have a little bit of a difference in intent. A suggestibility test is what you do to see who in your audience would be a great subject, and also for them to know who would be a good subject. A convincer is something that you do to convince the audience that you have this ability to get certain results out of people. It's kind of almost the first hypnotic demonstration you're doing. So sometimes it's the same. Like, for example, light and heavy arms is both a suggestibility test and a convincer, because you do it and they go, oh my God, I'm convinced. But also it's for you to know, okay, well, this guy's good and that guy's good and she's good and she's good. So we're going to go through them one at a time. Some of these are a lot easier to do because they depend on psychological but also physiological principles, so they're easier to do, to get results with. So it's easier for you to start with those. And some of them are a little bit harder and depend more on suggestion and less on something that's physical, but are better tests because it allows you to know with more accuracy who the good subjects are. So let's look at these one at a time. Let's start with the finger magnets. That's something that some of you have probably already seen, so let's try that right now. You tell everybody in the audience, so I'm going to talk about what it is, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to tell you guys what you say, and then I'm going to tell you why it works and what it's good for. So for finger magnets, you tell everybody in the audience, take both your hands like this, lock all your fingers in like this, including your thumbs. All fingers crossed over like this, including your thumbs, just like that. And you say, take both your index fingers, your pointing fingers, and point them up like this with about an inch apart between them. Look at that space between your two fingers. And now, you're going to feel those two fingers coming closer and closer together. You feel that space between the fingers tightening as those fingers come closer and closer and closer together. Really think of those two fingers as the world's strongest magnets as they come closer and closer together to the point where they're stuck now and they touch. And that's it. And it's as simple as that. That is the finger magnets. Now, why does it work? First of all, if somebody is suggestible, just the idea of them being magnets will very quickly get those fingers together. Second of all, there's a physiological aspect to this. It's very difficult to physically keep your fingers apart like this when all your other fingers are locked. In fact, if I keep talking to you like this and I don't think about it, at some point I'm going to notice that that space is closed. It just happens naturally because it takes quite a bit of strength to keep them apart. So, what you're testing here for is resistance. People this doesn't work on are people who are really like, no, they don't want to. People who very quickly, like, you go like magnet, space, closing, and boom, they're stuck already. You're like, all right, well, he's good. And then there's the people who just naturally and slowly close. These are people who are neither great nor very resistant. But you're looking for the ones that are going to close really quick. This is usually the first test you do. It's fun. It's quick, it's easy, it has a very high success ratio, and then you can go towards another one before you get some subjects up. But it's a great way to start. Okay? A few things to note. First of all, notice how clear my suggestions are. Suggestions always have to be clear. Going back to ice, it makes you look confident. If you're like, like magnets are, they stick, so your fingers, magnets, they're going to be like, this guy has no idea what he's doing. So be confident when you speak. Be clear when you speak. Your fingers are like magnets. And now I snap. I say when. And now I'm confident when I speak. Like two magnets. Notice my voice drops. Like two magnets. Those fingers are going to come closer and closer together. I'm very authoritative. Imagine there's two magnets, those fingers coming closer and closer together. The more you look at it, the tighter they squeeze and the closer they come, like two magnets. Don't be scared to repeat things. Coming closer and closer together, tighter now. And now they are stuck. Very clear, very confident. And that is the finger magnets. Let's go to the second one, the arm strength. And for this one, I'm going to demonstrate this for you right now with somebody in studio. Man, how do you get that detail in? Really good at this.
It's art.
Wow.
It's art. It truly is.
Huh.
Oh.
Gee, yeah. Wow. Oh.
I didn't see you there.
So, yeah, Chris decided to steal my shirt look, so I decided to steal his facial hair look.
Yeah.
Hope it looks good. So, don't do this when you're hypnotizing people. You lose cred for being sane. So let's try this. This is the arm test. So, Chris, turn to face me. Put your arms up like this, like in a V shape, but like more like this. Make two fists. Okay, so hold it up, okay? I'm gonna push down on your wrist. I want you to see how, because of the physiology, you're stronger and it's impossible for me to get your arms down. So try to resist, okay? See how strong it is? I can almost like hang off you and do like push-ups. You see that?
Right.
See how the strength can hold it up? Okay, drop your arms. Think of somebody in your life that makes you feel positive. Somebody that you've trusted and you were right in trusting. Somebody that's always had your back. Good, bring your arms back up. Now notice how the body is strong. And notice how if I try to, resist again, if I try to go pull down, look at that. I could like hang off this. You feel that strength? Notice how strong it is? Good, okay, drop your arms. I don't want you to think this is like me wearing you out. Think of somebody who once deceived you. You're not going to give me any information on this person, but somebody who you were wrong in trusting. Somebody who deceived you.
Santa Claus.
No. Stop it.
Oh.
You got this for real.
Sorry, I wasn't supposed to
Stop
say
it.
Okay.
You got someone? Yeah. Legit. Try this legit.
Okay.
You have someone? Okay. Somebody who deceived you. Go ahead and put the arms up. Now, you can already see how the body's a little bit weaker. This is to show how thought can influence the body. Check this out. You're thinking of that person? Mm-hmm. Watch. Really concentrate. Okay, look. Hold your arms up. No, up. Up is up. No, Chris. Up. Can you do up? Yeah. No, Chris. Up. Try it again. Up. Chris. This is up. Try it. No, try strength. But really think of them. Up. No, Chris, come on. Up. You can do it. Stronger.
I'm
Come on.
trying.
Okay, up. Chris. And that's it. That's what it is. And just look at the reaction. None of this was scripted.
No, I didn't even know. I was scared, to be honest.
So arm strength is absolutely one of my favorite ones because the physiological reasoning here is a lot less obvious. All you're doing here because the spot that you're touching on the wrist is the exact same. What's different is the direction in which you're pulling. In the original demonstration, you're pulling downwards. If you pull downwards, they use more of their core strength to resist. If you pull outwards, just a little bit, just a tiny little bit, they're going to fall forward. Because it's almost the equivalent of you trying to push them downward like this, which is impossible, and you pulling outwards. So on the first one, I'm pushing this way. On the second one, I'm pushing this way, like this, just a little bit. It's not that pronounced. It's just a little bit more, and they just will not be able to keep their arms up. So it has that physiological thing. Plus, the suggestion actually makes a huge difference here. So you are adding that suggestion element here. When they think of something positive, they do have more strength. When they think of something negative, they do have less strength. So it is actually a great demonstration. And I use the arm strength one a lot more in intimate settings, like at a party. Like if I'm going to just a few people, I'll take one of them and I'll do the arm strength. It's a great convincer. So let's look at the eye lock now. This is one where the psychology is really coming into play. This one relies a lot less on physiological aspects. It does still a little bit, but you're really doing, this is a strong suggestibility test. If this works on someone, you know they're probably a great subject. So here we go with the eye lock. And try it at home. Try it right now, sitting in front of your screen. So here's what you say. I want you to close your eyes. All of you, everybody close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes. And under your closed eyelids, I want you to imagine there's a spot at the top of your head, right at the top of your head, and roll your eyeballs up to look at that spot. Keep your eyes locked on that spot, but at the same time, keep your eyelids closed. Your eyelids are closed, and roll your eyeballs upwards. I want you to imagine that between your eyelids, there's the world's strongest super glue or crazy glue. This is the world's strongest super glue, holding your eyelids stuck together. Don't test it yet. Just really focus on that spot on top of your head. But really imagine your eyes are stuck with the world's strongest glue. And I want you to use that imagination, that creativity and that intelligence to really feel that those eyelids are stuck, impossible to open them. And now, as you keep your eyeballs locked on that spot on top of your head with your eyes closed, go ahead and test it. Notice your eyes don't even want to open. Go ahead, test it. Notice that your eyes are stuck. Test it. Go ahead, your eyes are stuck. And now when I snap, just like that, your eyes can just open effortlessly. So that is the eye lock. Some people will be able to open their eyes. Now there's two things happening here. First of all, physiologically speaking, when you close your eyes and you roll your eyes upwards, it makes it very difficult to open your eyelids for some reason. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. But second of all, there's a suggestion here. And there's that confidence and comfort coming back in. You're saying, use that imagination, that creativity, and that intelligence. Think about that. Use your intelligence to really imagine those eyes getting stuck. Are you saying that if this doesn't work, they're not intelligent? Maybe, right? So that's what you're trying to get in there. It's kind of a cheat, but it's a good one. So you're really getting them to really use that imagination, to really imagine those eyes stuck together, more and more stuck together, and then they can't open them. And then you say, and now you could just easily open your eyes. That sound gives a clear moment. It also allows them to relax the eyes, and now they can open them. This is a great test. If this works on someone, odds are they're a great subject. Light and heavy arms, probably my favorite suggestibility test. I love this one. I do it in every one of my shows because my presentation with this is so much fun. This one depends almost entirely on psychological. There's almost no physiological aspect here. So when this works on somebody, I know they're a great subject. So when you have a big crowd of people, you could get away with doing an eye lock and a light and heavy, and a hand lock. Things that are are 100% psychological, will not work on everyone, but who it does work on, you know is a great subject. So light and heavy arms, here is me doing light and heavy arms on stage at my show. Enjoy.
Now, before I get the volunteers up here, we're going to do a test. This is different than the first one. The first one was a game, this is a test. I'm going to test to see who amongst you are the best subjects for hypnosis. I want everybody to participate. Don't be like, oh no, I don't want to get hypnotized. It's just a test, okay? I'm not going to sneak attack hypnotize anyone. Chill out. This is for me to know who amongst you have the 3 things you need to be hypnotized. The 3 things that you need the right mix of is imagination, creativity, and intelligence. If you have the right mix of those 3 things, you're an excellent candidate. I didn't say you need a lot of that, so don't look to your friends like, I got this, I'm like a genius. Here's the test, guys. I want everybody everybody to participate. Everybody put both your hands up like this at the height of your shoulders in front of you like this. Both arms up. Both arms up. Shh. Both arms up, palms down, hands about 6 or 7 inches apart. Ladies, if the guys don't know what 6 or 7 inches actually is, please. No, you're laughing. Every time I do this, there's a couple of guys in the audience like, 6 or 7 inches, I can do that. Let's do this, Hippo guy. Your boyfriend's been lying to you. Arms up at the height of your shoulders, palms down 6 or 7 inches apart. Shh. There are 2 things that must be closed and stay closed for this exercise. The first one is the mouth. Please do not say a word, even the slightest, oh my God, or holy shit, can affect the person next to you. So do not say a word, nothing. Shh. You might be tempted to react, but please wait to react, no matter how crazy this is. The second thing is your eyes. Close your eyes. I still hear chatter, guys. Please, out of respect for you and those around you, please do not speak. And keep those eyes closed until we're done. It's going to be tempting to peek, but please keep those eyes firmly closed until we're done. Don't peek, don't cheat, I can see you. Eyes closed, palms up, hands at the height of your shoulders, eyes tightly closed. And I want you all to imagine that on your left hand, I've attached a very light helium balloon. If you don't know what that is, it's the balloons that go up. Really focus on that balloon attached to your left hand. This big balloon, maybe you can see the color, I don't really know. But every time I make this sound, that balloon gets lighter and lighter. This isn't something you do consciously. Keep those eyes closed and really focus. Focus on that balloon floating. Trust your unconscious mind and your imagination to make that left hand lighter and lighter. I want you to imagine that on your right hand, there's a very heavy pile of books. Not just one, but at least 3 or 4 books, big books, heavy books like dictionaries. And every time I make that sound, keeping those eyes closed, imagine those dictionaries getting heavier and heavier, just so heavy every time I make that sound. Left hand gets lighter and lighter, right hand gets heavier and heavier. Really focus on it. This is something you do consciously. Just focus on those books and trust your imagination to make that hand heavier and heavier. Once again, left hand lighter and lighter, all the way up, 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 just floating effortlessly. As the right hand is so tired now that you can rest it on your leg or by your side, because it's just so tired right now. One last time. Left hand floating all the way up, 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 up into the air. Right hand, shh. Right hand super tired by now. Right hand is just gone. Can't even hold it up anymore. All the way up on the left, all the way down on the right. Good, don't move. Open your eyes, look at your arms. There are 2 kinds of people in this audience. Those of you who are like this, holy shit, my arm is flying! And then those of you who are like this. Here's my point. If there's a foot or more of difference between your arms, you're an excellent candidate for hypnosis. If you look like the gentleman there and a couple of guys down there who look like they have a question for me on one side and they're sinking into the ground on the other side, you are a marvelous candidate. You will get hypnotized. So might as well come up here because I don't want to have to come get you out there.
So light and heavy arms. As you saw, there's no physiological thing there. One of the arms is going up, one of the arms is going down. Now, a couple of things you want to note is, first of all, how clear I speak and how confident I am when I'm doing this. How I say, how I give them a moment where it's going to happen. Every time I make this sound, every time I, whatever that sound is, whether it's a snap or a pop into the mic or it's a clap, whatever it is, I do that because I'm holding the mic. I say, every time I make this sound, so I want them to hear that and associate whatever's going to happen to that sound. Notice how clear I am about what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. Notice how comforting I am when I say, don't do this consciously. Use your imagination, your creativity, and your intelligence. Again, suggesting that if you're intelligent, this will work. So yeah, that's everything there is about that. Really just listen to how I'm doing it and really focus on the clarity of the suggestion. And how when this works, I know that the people that it worked on, that's the people I want on stage. Now the hand lock. The hand lock of all the ones that are on this list is the most difficult one. It's the one that will tell you if hand lock works, that person will get hypnotized. That's it. It's as simple as that. Unless something goes terribly wrong, if hand lock works in waking state, the way I do it, the way you're going to see in a minute, you know you have a good subject on your hands. 100%. So here is the hand lock as done in my show.
All of you, take both your hands and lock your fingers in like this. All your fingers, all your thumbs, locked, interlocked, crossing like this. Bring your hand up in front of you like this. Look at your hand. Focus on your hand. Focus on your hand. Don't look at me, don't look elsewhere, don't look anywhere else. Look at your hand, don't look anywhere else. I want you to imagine that between your fingers, between your palms, between every inch of those hands, I've put the strongest crazy glue, or super glue, depends on what you call it, between those hands. Don't test it yet, but you know for a fact that those fingers and hands are stuck together, absolutely stuck together. Don't test it, just really focus on that. In fact, I want you to imagine that both your hands are becoming this one solid ball of metal, like a ball of metal that's welded together. Just one ball of metal, both your hands are impossible to separate. Don't test it, just focus. Both your hands are locking together and turning into one big ball of steel that's welded together. You can't even move any of the fingers, and you know that when you try, your hands will be stuck and impossible to separate. Go ahead and test it. Go ahead and test it. Pull on those arms. Go ahead and test it. You can go back. Thank you. Go pull. You can go back. Thank you. Pull. Go pull. Come on. Get your knees in there. Separate them. They're stuck. You can go back. Thank you. Pull. Come on, guys. You can do this. Pull. Pull. Come on. You can go back. Thank you. Pull. Come on. Put your strength in. Put your knees in there. You got this. Come on. Pull. For God's sake, pull. Come on. Pull. Put everything you've got into it. You can go back. Thank you. Come on, guys. Get your knee in there. Separate those hands. Pull them apart. Come on. You can do this. Pull. Okay, stop, stop, stop. Listen to me. When I stomp my foot on the ground, everything will separate like that, just like that. Everything comes apart, everything comes apart, everything comes apart.
So as you can see, the hand lock is a very amazing demonstration. It's like, what is actually happening right now? Why can't they separate their hands? Notice, again, there's this very clear indication of what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. I speak clearly and I speak confidently. You have to speak clearly and confidently, and don't doubt it. Don't be like, in a second, your hands are going to lock. Like, don't be like, is this going to work? It's going to work. Be confident. Go back to ice. Be confident. Be so, you know it's going to work. It's not a question. You've done this 1,000 times before, and it's worked 1,000 times before. And notice how, as I'm doing this, I send the people that it's not working for back to their seats. And I really want to keep the ones that it's working for. This is my last suggestibility test, and I only use it when I have too many volunteers on stage and I have to weed them out, which is quite often. I really want the best ones on stage, and I keep comforting them by saying, if this worked, I know you're going to get hypnotized. So almost the entire battle is won before I start the induction. Finally, a good mentalism trick. If you're doing hypnosis in a small setting, like at a party, or a smaller show where there isn't, hundreds of people, a nice mentalism trick is great because it sort of tells them, it convinces them, it's a great convincer that you have this sort of ability to understand their mind. And to people who believe in, I never say it. I never say I'm a psychic or anything like that. I just say, here's this little demonstration. And it sort of opens up their mind to the fact that you are able to do this. So mentalism tricks are a great convincer. And there you have it, guys. That is the list of suggestibility tests and convincers that I use in my professional work. Go back to my performances of them, whether it's in studio or on stage, and really focus on how clear the suggestion is and how there's a clear indication of when it's going to happen and what's going to happen. So to conclude this segment on suggestibility tests and convincers, let me tell you when and where I use the different individual ones. So we're going to start with the finger magnets. This I personally don't use in my show. I find it too easy. I really want to get to who the best subjects are. But if you're a beginner and you really want to throw that convincer in, it's a great one to do as soon as you come out. It's a great place to do that. As soon as you come out, you get right into it. You do this fun little thing. It gets people engaged. That's where you do this, to the whole audience, to everybody, just to show them the power of the unconscious mind. That's the one you do. Arm strength. This is something that I do in small, intimate settings. Let's say there's a small group of people. I'm at a party or something. They want to see some hypnosis. I'll get a few people up and I'll try the arm strength one on them. That gets the ball rolling, and then we go on to doing another suggestibility test and then the hypnosis. Eye lock. This is something I can do to a whole audience of people to know who the good subjects are to come up on stage, or in a party you do it to everybody, again, to see who the good subjects are. That one in light and heavy, depending on which one you like more. I love light and heavy arms. I just love it so much. But that's two that you do to the whole audience. And I say this, I go, this isn't hypnosis, so I want everybody to participate. Don't be like, oh no, I don't want to hypnotize. So I say, just everyone do this, okay? And I go, come on, everyone. And you'll see that in the video. These are two that you do to the whole audience to see who the best is to come on stage and volunteer. So that when you say, if you haven't been drinking, you don't have any chronic movement pains, you're not pregnant or have anxiety, if the hands worked on you really well, come on up. And the hand lock is what I do when I invite people on stage and I have 20 chairs, but more people show up, like 30 people, 40 people show up. I have them stand up, sit down, whatever. I do the hand lock. And I say, if this works, I know hypnosis will work on you. It's the strongest test. So we do that, and whoever could separate their hands is sent back to the audience. And now I know that I have 20 of the best on stage that are going to get hypnotized, and I know it's going to be a slam and show. So that's how I use each of these suggestibility tests. Or mentalism trick. If, again, you're in a party, I wouldn't do this on stage. On stage, I just do the light and heavy arms, and there's a quick game in the beginning that I do that's not one of these, but that's part of my intro. But mentalism tricks, I would do like in a party, just to get people to understand that I'm awesome at what I do. So welcome to the induction portion of this DVD. So the induction, I guess, is the hypnosis. That's what it is. It's like if you strip out all other things, this is the process that's going to make people hypnotized. So I guess it's interchangeable. Hypnosis, induction. This is the hypnotic induction. I just confused myself. Here are the elements of a good induction. So I'm going to talk about each of them. I'm going to say what it is. And then after that, you're going to see my actual induction on stage. You'll be able to see where each of these fits in. The important thing to remember about an induction is, if you can look at a really good subject, if you did your pre-show really well, and you found a great subject, and they're comforted, and they're relaxed, and they're entertained, and they're educated, and you can look at them and just say the word, relax, 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 over and over again, technically, that could be a good induction. These elements just make it so much better. So think of like, relax deeper and deeper as your basis, and this is everything you're building on top of that to make this killer induction, which, like I said, in the beginning you can use mine as it is, but then, play around with these concepts and find your own way of doing it. Let's start with this, the top one. I wrote still ice. There's a reason for that. In your induction, you still have to remember that you have to be entertaining, comforting, confident, and informative. So within the induction, there are still these little lines that still teach them about hypnosis. Things like, they actually found that people with a higher intelligence have the concentration it takes to get hypnotized. That is both comforting and informative. The most important one is C. Informative and entertaining, especially entertaining, takes the back seat a little bit, and comforting and confident really take the lead. So keep that in mind. C is very important. So remember that. Ice is still very important in your induction. Especially in my induction, there's a little 30 seconds where I talk to the audience. I'm still doing ice there, mainly. Second thing, breathing. So it's no secret that in meditation and yoga, they take deep breaths. There's a reason for that. The deeper you breathe naturally does relax you, which is why I begin with deep breaths in my induction, as you will see in the studio induction and in the on-stage induction. So just encouraging them to breathe deeper can relax the whole body naturally in and of itself. Also, throughout the induction, there's many points where I say, with every breath you take, with every sound you hear, blah, blah, but with every breath you take, with every deep breath you take, with every breath in and out. So there's a lot of times I remind them to breathe deep. Countdowns. I'm going to count down now from 3 to 1. And with every number that I descend, every number is going to double the state of body relaxation that you are in. 3, blah, 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 blah. 2, blah, blah. Countdowns help people relax. I'm going to count from 3 to 1. I'm going to count from 5 to 1. I'm going to count from 7 to 1. 7, 6, all the way down, relaxing deeper. Now 5 to 4. So these countdowns just allow people to have a pace to their relaxation. Countdowns are very important. Fractionate. What does fractionate mean? Remember it and remember it well. Fractionate means eyes open, Eyes closed and you go deeper. Fractionating means deepening the state through opening their eyes and putting them back into sleep. So you'll notice right at the end of my induction, once in my induction, I have them open their eyes, we do some visualization, and then I relax them, which should be here. I don't know why it's not. Visualization, that's extremely important. So at some point I have them open their eyes and then relax, and I have them close their eyes again. That's extremely important, fractionating. And then at the end, I fractionate 3 times. I say, you're going to sit up in your chair, take a deep breath of air in, and sleep. You don't have to open their eyes each time, but fractionating means to get them up and deeper in, up and deeper in. Very important. It deepens the state.
Only at the count of 3 now, all of you sitting up, eyes closed. 1, 2, 3, sit up with your eyes closed, take a deep breath of air in, and sleep all the way down. Let it all go into your chair, give you go, how do you feel? Stay in your chair, mind your head. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, sit up in your chair, take a deep breath of air in, and sleep all the way down 1,000 times deeper into your chair. Yes, 1,000 times deeper. Mind your head. She looks like she's gonna knock herself out right now. Third time, 1, 2, 3, sit up in your chair, take a deep breath, and sleep all the way down. Sleep all the way. Yes.
Visualization. Having them visualize themselves on a beach. Having them visualize themselves in the back seat of a car. Anything that's relaxing is great. I use in my induction, as you'll see, visualizing themselves floating in a cloud. What a relaxing sensation. A lot of hypnotists use staircases. Imagine yourself top of a staircase and they add the countdown into the staircase. I'm not a huge fan of that because some people are scared of very tall staircases and I don't want them to think of anything that frightens them. So maybe not. I mean, you could try it. If it works for you, go ahead and use that. Progressive relaxation. That is, again, you'll see in my induction when I go, move that relaxation from the top of your head, down your shoulders, through your arms, the very tips of your fingers, down your body, through your legs, the very tips of your toes. So I progress the relaxation through the body. Very effective tool. Weasel sentences. These are amazing. I love weasel sentences so much because they confuse the mind. What is a weasel sentence? A weasel sentence is when you find a homonym, which means 2 words that sound the same but have different meanings. And you use one of those words to end a sentence and use the other one to start a sentence. That confuses the mind so much but helps you in relaxing them. You don't want to use too much confusion, but confusion in the right places can really get the mind in a very relaxed state. So I have 3 examples here that I use a lot. The second one and the third one are in my induction. You'll be able to see them. The first one I sometimes throw in there, and here's what they are. Here and here. So the first here, H-E-A-R, is hear like hearing. And the second one here is like here, where we are right now. So look at this sentence. You allow yourself to relax with every sound you hear, and now relaxing deeper than ever before. See what I did there? So I used here just once, but I used it to end one sentence in the first sense, and then start the second sentence, the second sense. The sentences are technically with every sound you hear, and then here and now relaxing. But look at the way that blend just sort of sends the mind into whoa, oh. So again, relaxing the body with every sound you hear, and now allowing your mind to relax as well. So I did it. That was 2 different sentences, but you get the point. I'm using that one word in both senses. So here, days and days. So the first one is days like 24 hours, and the second one is days like in a days. And I use this one in my induction like this. Feeling more relaxed now than you have in years, months, or even days, and confused, and push your mind to really feel that relaxation. So I use days in both senses. And finally, my favorite one, past and past. So past, P-A-S-T, like the past, like what has already happened, and past, P-A-S-S-E-D, like the things that I've already passed. So here's why I use that. Notice how good it feels to leave all your troubles far, far in the past, the point of no return now, feeling so relaxed. So see how I used it to finish the one sentence, like leaving all your troubles in the past, and then I said the point of no return, past the point of no return now, just feeling so relaxed. I love that one. Such a great line. So weasel sentences, again, are using words in both senses, but just saying it once. So it really confuses the mind, and it sort of gets them to lose all sense of logic, and it just goes into the relaxation and the emotion of what they feel at that moment. Love the weasel sentences. Weasel countdown. This is something I came up with. It is a countdown that uses weasel words. So what we're doing is, in the case of 3 and 1, I'm not really using the weasel. I kind of am, but not really, because it still means 3 and it still means 1, but I'm changing the context. But in the case of number 2, I'm using it as a weasel word. So let me show you what I mean. Here's the weasel countdown. I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. With every number I descend, I want you to double the state of body relaxation that you are in. 3 times deeper now than ever before. Going to a place where you could feel your mind and your body relaxing deeper. 1 last time. So I use 3 and 1 as part of the countdown, but also as part of the sentence. But the best one is the 2, because I'm saying going to a place where you could feel. So I'm saying that 2, like number 2, but also going to a place where you could feel your whole body relaxing. 1 last time. So I'm building the countdown into my sentence, and that's what I call the weasel countdown. Love it. Absolutely love it. And notice how there's so much of this relaxing the body and just going deeper. Double binds. So double bind is any time where you set up a choice, but either option leads to your preferred outcome. I know it sounds complicated, but here's what I mean. In my induction, I said, let me give you an everyday example. When you go to the cash to buy something, they say cash or credit, right? Cash or credit, which one do you want to use? Either way, you're paying. So in my induction, I use this line. I say, tilt your head forward, all the way forward until it touches your knees, or almost. It really doesn't matter. I want you to go as deep as you feel comfortable. So what I'm saying to them is, you can go all the way down like this. You can go like this. You can go like this. I don't care. But one way or the other, you're relaxing. So it's whichever option you choose, I still get what I want. You're relaxing. That's what a double bind is. A double bind is any time where you set up a choice, something like, do you feel your left side relaxing, or is it your right side that's relaxing first? It doesn't matter. Either way, you're relaxing. Is it your left hand that feels more heavy, or is it your right hand that feels more heavy? Again, it's like, it doesn't matter. One or the other, you're relaxing. Peer pressure. Peer pressure has been scientifically proven to be one of the strongest ways to influence somebody. People want to behave the way people around them behave. It's just the way we are. It's the way we conform to society. It's the way we learn. So I have all kinds of sentences in my induction that you're going to hear where I say things like, and you'll notice the person next to you relaxing. Join them in this relaxation. Things like, you're all doing such a great job. Things like, I can already see some of you relaxing very deeply. And my favorite one is when I get to the point where I'm saying sleep, sleep, I go, oh, don't fall out of your chair. Don't fall out of your chair. Because the other ones around them, in their head, their eyes are closed, they don't see what's happening. They have this image of that person almost falling out of their chair. So they know everybody else is relaxing very deeply. They relax deeply. We usually follow the group. So that's great. And then finally, peer binds. Peer binds, I just named a few, but a peer bind is something like saying, the people around you are relaxing, and you notice the people around you relaxing deeper. Join them in this relaxation. And I wonder if you notice the people around you relaxing deeper than you, or are you relaxing deeper than them? So that's a peer bind, right? It doesn't matter who's relaxing deeper, but using peer pressure to say they're relaxing, you're relaxing too. That's a great peer bind. So now let's go through my induction word for word, and you're going to notice throughout my induction, every now and then I'm going to stop and I'm going to snap and pop my hands, because I don't want any of you at home going into hypnosis. You know, some of you might be really good subjects, and I don't want that to happen. So every couple of sentences I'm going to stop, and maybe I'll comment, maybe I'll pop my hands, clap my hands just for you. I don't want anybody to get hypnotized at home watching this video. And I will point as I do the induction to what I'm using. And also keep in mind that you are going to see my stage induction, so you can really see this in a real world setting. So here's the in-studio induction. This project is so amazing because we're going to give you one in studio right now as like a point to the things I'm using, and then you're going to get one on stage of me actually doing it the way I do it every week of my life for the last 10 years and for the foreseeable future. So this is my time-tested induction. So the induction obviously starts when I have them take the deep breaths. You'll notice that. But I'm going to go to before that, to when they're sitting down, everything I say. Okay? So, and you'll notice I'll point to what I'm using, and sometimes I'll even be as specific as E, C, and I over here. So let's make that bigger so that you know what I'm pointing to. So remember that is entertaining, comforting, and confidence, and informative. So here we go. So now they're on stage, they're seated. I've done the hand lock. I know who's good. They're sitting down, and I say this. I go, first of all, guys, thanks for being up here. If you have any cell phones in your pockets, reach into your pockets, pull them out, turn them off. Cell phones can be very distracting. If you're in the audience, please put your phones on silent, but I will come back to you in just a second. Is anybody up here chewing gum? If you are, raise your hand. Grab a garbage, go around, have them spit it out. I make a joke here. I say, you can have this back at the end of the show. And I turn to the audience and I go, anybody want some gum? That gets a really great laughs right there. That's entertaining. Okay, if you're sitting next to one of your BFFs, if you're sitting next to a very close friend, move so that you're not. I don't want you to distract yourself by checking in on your friends. So they do that. You know, I might comment a little. Good. Have a seat, be comfortable, feet flat on the floor, everybody. Put your feet flat on the floor. Put your hands on your thighs. If you have any uncomfortable jewelry, like hats, watches, glasses, anything like that, remove them, put them on the table. I will steal them when you're hypnotized. That's a quick joke. But also, it also removes, I say, I don't want it to distract you. That's informative. So remove anything that might make you uncomfortable. Now everyone's comfortable. They're sitting down. Feet flat on the floor, hands on your thighs. And this is where the induction starts. If you're wondering what I'm supposed to do, what am I supposed to do? It's very simple. You're not supposed to do anything. Hypnosis is a lot like sleep. If you try too hard, it's not going to work. We've already tested you. We know that you're excellent subjects. That's so comforting and confident. We know you're great subjects, and if you just go along with it, we know this is going to work. I've done this thousands of times, and if you just kind of relax and go with it, it's going to work. So, I want you all to sit down, again, feet flat on the floor, hands on your thighs. Shake your head around a little bit like this. Everybody shake your hand like this. You're going to find that's nice and relaxing for the neck. And when you're done, just lay your head forward like this. Close your eyes. Go ahead and everybody tilt your head forward, close your eyes. And we're going to start, everybody, with a nice, deep breath of air in. All the way in and all the way out. A second deep cleansing breath of air in all the way in and all the way out. And a third deep breath of air in all the way in and all the way out. And you'll notice that just the fact that you're breathing a little bit deeper can relax the entire body. It's very simple. It's because when you take a deep breath of air in, more oxygen flows in the body. More oxygen means more relaxation. So if nothing else, over the course of the next few minutes, just the fact that you're breathing a little bit deeper than usual can allow you to relax deeper and deeper. I'm going to speak to the audience for about a minute now. As I do this, I want you to be very selfish. Place an imaginary curtain around yourself, isolating everything else in the room, allowing yourself to just relax deeper and deeper, all the way down, down, down. It's like everything you hear, everything around you, every breath you take, every sound you hear, every word I say, will just relax your body all the way down. Don't worry about anything else. Just focus on your relaxation. Now I turn to the audience. I am now addressing the audience. I don't say that, but I'm telling you. I turn to the audience and I say this. I go, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you guys a couple of quick facts about hypnosis. Hypnosis is an art that found itself on the stage in the earlier 40s. The first guy to do it was this Portuguese guy. That's informative, a little bit of information. They used to believe at the time that to be hypnotized, you got to have a low IQ. But now it's been scientifically proven that to be successfully hypnotized, you got to have an IQ that is average or above average. Because only people with an above average intelligence have the concentration it takes to be hypnotized. You're comforting the people on stage when you say that. That's all hypnosis depends on. Concentration. Guys, the next few minutes are going to be the most boring part of my show, but by far the most important. It's the 4 minutes I need to put the people on stage into hypnosis. For that time, I need one thing from you and one thing alone. That is complete, total silence. Not whispering, not texting, no Tinder. Dead silence. If you give me silence, I promise you a great show. If you don't give me silence, I promise you will personally take a wonderful experience for somebody on stage, and you will personally cut the duration of this show. If you have any cell phones and you intend on taking pictures, they must be turned off for the next 4 minutes. Take all the pictures and videos you want during the show, but it's actually illegal to film what's about to happen. Guys, please close your phones. No pictures, no phone calls. Put them on silent. Guys, give me 4 minutes of silence. I promise you an incredible show. Just bear with me. And that's it. So let's take a second to talk about that. If any of you are kind of relaxing, wake up, eyes open, listen, pay attention. Let's talk about that just really quick. So you've informed the audience, but at the same time, you've comforted the people on stage to know that it takes intelligence to do this. You've also informed people in the audience that all it takes is to listen. So if any of them get relaxed, you've already mentioned it a few times by now, but if anybody in the audience goes into hypnosis, it's fine, you'll go get them. I even sometimes say that when I talk to the audience. I'll say, all hypnosis depends on his concentration. If you can hear me now, you could also be hypnotized. If you see the person next to you at any point sort of dozing off, don't touch them. That's their way of telling me that they want to be in the show, and they will be in the show. That's a great way to tell your audience that they get hypnotized from out there too. Adds more subjects on stage. Okay, now you've spoken to the audience. You're going to turn back and address the people on stage, and this is the big part of the induction. Here we go. People on stage, I want you now to redirect your focus to my voice. You find that it is a very relaxing voice. The more you listen to it, the more relaxed, indeed, you will become. I will count down now from 3 to 1. With every number I descend, I want you to double the state of body relaxation that you are in. 3, doubling the state of body relaxation, allowing your mind and your body to just relax deeper than ever before. 2, now I'm going to say this now because a lot of you are relaxing at a very steady and fast pace. If at any point you want to relax into your chair, you can, but you will never fall off your chair. Some of you are already falling into your chair, but you will never fall off your chair. And 1. Now, if you notice the person next to you moving over the course of the next few minutes, this just means that they are relaxing. Join them in this relaxation. At this point, feeling very relaxed, very comfortable, very much at ease, I want you to very slowly, very gently, open your eyes and stare directly at your own right knee. Now, once you find your right knee, lock your eyes on it. Do not move your eyes from it. Quick pause here. If any of you are getting relaxed, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. I'm going to add something here, which I forgot, my bad. I'm going to put it right over here. It's eye fixation. Now, a lot of hypnotists have them look at the hypnotist. A lot of hypnotists have them look at a point in the audience or on the ceiling. I like for them to look at their own right knee. And the reason for that is, no matter how relaxed you are, you're always conscious of where your right knee is. So you can always find it easily. If I say, stare at me, it might take them a second to find where I am, and that might bring them out. You always know where your right knee is. You feel it. So I love the right knee as a fixation point. I don't know any other hypnotist who does it that way, but I love using that. Plus, if they're relaxed and I say, look at me, they have to bring their head up like this. And I don't want that. Their knee is right there. Even with their head relaxed, they could see it. So I love the right knee as an eye fixation. Moving on. I want you to very slowly, very gently open your eyes and stare directly at your own right knee. Once you find your right knee, lock your eyes on it. Do not move your eyes from it. You'll be hearing sounds now. Sounds of raindrops, sounds of thunder. So now the soundtrack that I have plays. Using music, you don't have to use music in an induction, but using music really helps a lot for the relaxation. I love using it, and I love using it here. Sounds of raindrops, sounds of thunder. Now, with every raindrop that falls from the sky, with every raindrop that hits the ground, let it pull all your energy, relaxing you deeper and deeper. You'll also be hearing a lovely piece of music. Now, as this music gently touches your ears, let it run through your entire body, relaxing every muscle, every nerve, every fiber in your entire body, as you feel yourself relaxing so much deeper now than ever before. Feeling more relaxed than you have in years, months, or even days, and confused, and allow your entire body to relax deeper now than ever before. And as you listen to these sounds, as you listen to this music, you notice your eyes begin to feel just a little bit heavier than they felt a moment ago. As you try so hard to keep your eyes locked on that right knee, it seems as though somebody has attached two very heavy weights to each one of your eyelids. And with every moment that passes, all you want to do is close those heavy, tired eyes and allow your entire body to follow them into a deep state of relaxation. If it hasn't happened yet, go ahead and close your eyes. Allow that relaxation to move through your head, all the way down to your neck, as you allow your head to fall forward, all the way forward, until your head touches your knees, or almost. I really want you to go as deep as you feel comfortable. Whatever comfortable is for you. Some of you are completely slouched over in your chair. Some of you are just tilting your head forward and feeling that relaxation taking over. Whatever the case is, I want you to relax deeper. Move that relaxation through your head, through your shoulders, down your elbows, to the very tips of your fingers, down your body, through your legs, to the very tips of your toes, relaxing every muscle, every nerve, every fiber in your entire body. Wake up. If you're relaxing at home, wake up now, eyes open, pay attention once again, shake it out a little, shake your heads around a little. If you're relaxing, back on me. Good. Now feeling completely and totally relaxed, completely and totally at ease, I want you to paint a very clear image in your mind. I want you to make this a very vivid body experience. I want you to imagine a very bright, clear blue sky. There is nothing in this big blue sky except for one white, fluffy cloud. Imagine yourself inside this cloud. As you lie down, this cloud surrounds your entire body, and as you breathe, this cloud is going to float with you, drift with you. Not a care, not a worry in the world. Tomorrow is 1,000 miles away. Notice how good it feels to feel so good. Notice how good it feels to take this time to think of your relaxation. And leave all your troubles far, far in the past, the point of no return now. Relaxing so deeply. And as you relax, that bright blue sky begins to get darker and darker, a little darker, just a little darker yet, and now, completely dark. Muscles relaxing, energy draining. With every breath you take, every sound you hear, every word I say, you allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into this state of relaxation. One final time, I'm going to count down now from 3 to 1. One last time, I want you to double the state of body relaxation that you are in. 3 times deeper now than ever before, allowing your entire body to just relax and go to a place where you could feel that relaxation completely taking over one last time. Good. Now feeling completely and totally relaxed, completely and totally at ease. By the way, wake up, shake it out. By this point, most of them are like this or like this, like completely knocked over in their chair. Now feeling completely and totally relaxed, completely and totally at ease, I want you to redirect your focus to your arms, both your arms. And as you think of your arms, I want you to lift them up. You will notice that the higher you lift your arms, the lighter they will become, like two helium balloons just floating up into the air. And notice how they just get lighter and lighter. Good, you're all doing such a great job. Notice your arms getting lighter and lighter as they float up into the air. And when they reach a comfortable peak, you can just stop and just hold them there effortlessly because those two helium balloons are holding them up. In a moment, I will touch you on the shoulder. This touch will not bother you, it will relax you 1,000 times deeper. Upon receiving this touch, you will also hear me say the word sleep. Now, as soon as you hear the word sleep, immediately, without question, without delay, you will collapse your entire body and just melt into your chair 1,000 times deeper than ever before. The moment I touch you on the shoulder, immediately you will just collapse right into your chair. But you will never fall off your chair. You'll just melt completely into your chair, completely relaxed 1,000 times deeper. So now I go and I touch them on the shoulder and I say, sleep. Stay in your chair. Don't fall off your chair. And sleep all the way down. And sleep all the way down. Stay in your chair. Stay in your chair. Say that. Stay in your chair. So everybody else that I'm about to do it to has this image in their head, this visualization of everybody else just almost falling off their chair. So sleep all the way down in your chair. Sleep. Another thing, at this point, I'm seeing who's really just, boom, collapsing in their chair. Those are my best subjects that I'm going to use in a second. Sleep. Sleep. If there's anybody in the audience, you go out into the audience, sleep. And you tell the people around them, don't touch them. You go out in the audience, sleep. You do the ones in the audience last. And there it is, guys. That's the induction from beginning to end with me telling you what to pay attention to. Now you could skip this if you feel like you have a good, clear image of this, but if you want to see it in the real world, here's that. Me on stage actually doing the induction that you just heard in real time without interruptions. Enjoy.
On stage, eyes on me. Go ahead and just shake your head around a little bit like this. Everybody except for Carolyn. Shake your head around, that gets all the tension out. Go the other way a little bit. When you're done, rest your head forward like this and close your eyes. Here's where we begin. Carolyn, you could start following along from here. Everyone on stage, listen up. I want you all to redirect your focus to my voice. I want to start with a deep breath of air in, all the way in and all the way out. A second deep cleansing breath of air in, all the way in and all the way out. A third deep cleansing breath of air in, all the way in and all the way out. Now remain focused, remain calm, focus only on yourself. You'll notice over the course of the next couple of minutes that just the fact that you're breathing deeply can relax you more than you've ever relaxed before. It's quite simple. You see, when you breathe deeply, more oxygen flows in the body, and more oxygen means more relaxation. It's as simple as that. So every breath you take allows you to relax more and more. For about a minute now, I'm going to talk to the audience. As I do this, I want you to keep relaxing. With every breath you take, every sound you hear, and every word I say. Put up an imaginary curtain. Imagine this curtain around everything else in the room, completely isolating you and allowing you to just relax all the way down as you breathe.
Hey guys, wake up, come on. Back to school, back to school. I know you guys are probably getting hypnotized right now, just making sure that you guys do not fall asleep. That's why I recommend, get it? Rockstar energy drink, so you guys don't be hypnotized. So wake up.
People in the audience, a couple of quick facts about hypnosis. Hypnosis is an art that found itself on the stage in the earlier 40s. They used to believe that to be hypnotized, you gotta have a low IQ, you gotta be dumb. But now it's been scientifically tested and proven that to be successfully hypnotized, you gotta have an IQ that is average or above average, because only people with an above average intelligence have the concentration required to be hypnotized. That's all hypnosis depends on, is concentration. Guys, the next 3 minutes of my show are going to be the most boring part of my show and most probably your life. But it's the most important part of my show. It's the 3 minutes I need to put the lovely people on stage into a nice, comfortable state of relaxation. For those 3 minutes, I need one thing from you and one thing alone. Dead silence. Not whispering, not quiet whispering, not texting, not Tindering. Dead silence. If you give me silence, I promise you an incredible show. If you don't give me silence, I promise you will personally take away a wonderful experience for somebody on stage, and you will personally cut the duration of this show. If you have any video cameras, or picture cameras, or your phone. You want to take videos or pictures. I'm speaking to everyone except for my own cameraman, obviously. You can take all the pictures you want and videos you want during the show, but not during the induction. It is actually illegal for you to film what's about to happen. If you have any questions about that, come see me at the end of the show. The only cameras allowed to be on are my guys. Aside from that, guys, just for 3 minutes. No cameras, then take all the pictures you want from here. Just 3 minutes, guys. I promise you epicness. Here we go. People on stage, I want you now to redirect your focus to my voice. You find that it is a very relaxing voice. The more you listen to my voice, the more relaxed indeed you will become. I will count down now from 3 to 1. With every number that I descend, I want you to double the state of body relaxation that you are in. 3, doubling that state of body relaxation. And if you should feel the person next to you moving over the course of the next few moments, this just means that they are relaxing. Join them in this relaxation.
Back again. Here I am, back again. I can't snap with this finger, just making sure you guys aren't hypnotized again. That's why I recommend Red Bull. Red Bull or Rockstar. Which one? Come on. Wake up. Wake up. Didn't open it. Just joking.
2, I'm going to say this now because a lot of you are relaxing at an extremely rapid rate. No matter how relaxed you get, no matter how much you fall forward into your chair or onto your lap, you will never fall off your chair. It's impossible. You'll always make that little bit of a conscious effort to stay in your chair no matter how relaxed you get. And 1. Now feeling completely and totally relaxed, completely and totally at ease, I want you to very slowly, very gently, open your eyes and stare directly at your own left foot. Once you find your left foot, lock your eyes on it. Do not move your eyes from it. You'll be hearing sounds now. Sounds of raindrops, sounds of thunder. Now as these raindrops fall from the sky, as these raindrops hit the ground, let them pull all your energy, relaxing you deeper and deeper now, all the way down, down, down. You'll also be hearing a lovely piece of music. Now as this music gently touches your ears, let it run through your entire body, relaxing every muscle, every nerve, every fiber in your entire body just relaxes deeper and deeper and all the way down, down, down.
Come on, guys, wake up. This is like, you guys keep doing this. You guys can't do this. You guys gotta wake up. That's why I told you I recommend Rockstar Energy Drink. It's just, so good. Everywhere. Oh, yeah. Rockstar. Oh, that's a bad decision. Yeah. I love it.
I'll let the relaxation take over completely as you feel it just sort of traveling through the entire body, relaxing every bit of muscle, nerve, fiber just relaxes deeper and deeper all the way down. Stay in that chair. Always stay in that chair. And as you listen to these sounds, listen to this music, you notice that your eyes begin to feel just a little bit heavier than they felt a moment ago. It seems as though somebody has attached 2 very heavy weights to each one of your eyelids, and all you want to do is close those heavy, tired eyes and allow your entire body to just sink, drift, melt, relax into a deep state of relaxation. And you know very well that the moment your eyes close, your whole body will follow them into a deep state of relaxation. As your body relaxes, your mind will relax all the way down. If it hasn't happened yet, go ahead and close your eyes, allow your eyelids to fall forward, allow your head to fall forward, all the way forward until it's touching your knees or almost. I really want you to go as deep as you feel comfortable, letting that body relax all the way down. Wonderful, but always staying in that chair. Let that relaxation travel through your shoulders, down to the tips of your fingers, down your legs, to the very tips of your toes, relaxing every muscle, every nerve, every fiber in your entire body relaxes all the way down, down, down with every breath you take, every sound you hear, every word I say. Just allow yourself to go so much deeper each and every single time. Good. Wonderful.
Come on, guys, wake up. Come on, you're falling asleep again. This is like the 4th time. My gum almost fell out of my mouth. I'm just so hyped up on stuff. That's why I totally recommend.
I want you not to paint a very clear image in your mind. I want you to make this very vivid. I want you to imagine a very bright blue sky, a great big blue sky. There is nothing in the sky except for one soft, white, fluffy cloud, just one cloud. Imagine yourself inside this cloud. As you breathe, this cloud is going to float with you, drift with you. Not a care, not a worry in the world. Tomorrow is so far away. Notice how good it feels to take this moment to just think of how relaxed you feel, that relaxation taking over. Notice how good it feels to feel so good. Notice how good it feels to leave all your troubles far in the past, to the point of no return now. Good. And as you float with this cloud, as you drift with this cloud, that bright blue sky begins to get darker and darker, a little darker, just a little darker yet, and now, completely dark. Muscles relaxing, energy draining. One final time, I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. This is your last opportunity to multiply the state of relaxation that you are in. 3 times deeper now than ever before. 2, a place where you could feel your entire body and mind relaxing so deeply. 1 last time. Good. You're all doing such a great job. I want you now to redirect your focus and think of your arms, both your arms. And as you think of your arms, I want you to lift them up. You will notice that the higher you lift your arms, the lighter they will become. Like 2 helium balloons now, floating up, 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 up. Keep those eyes closed. But those arms just float effortlessly, all the way up, like 2 balloons just floating up, 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 up into the air. And they get lighter and lighter as they go, lighter and lighter as they go. And when they reach a comfortable peak, you can just stop. You could just stop and you can hold them there. You could just hold them there effortlessly. If you're in the audience, I could see you, don't worry about it. Just let those arms float all the way up, and you could just hold your arms right up there in the air. In a moment, I will touch you on the shoulder and or on the arm. These touches will not bother you. These touches will relax you 1,000 times deeper. As soon as you feel that touch, I will say the word sleep. Now, as soon as you hear the word sleep, you will collapse your entire body and just melt right into your chair. This isn't a slow thing. You just, boom, collapse. Like all your muscles give up and you collapse into your chair, but you will always stay in your chair. In a moment when I touch you and say sleep, you go into a nice, deep sleep right there in your chair. Here we go. Nice and relaxed. Shh. Nice and relaxed. We're at, oh. Sleep, nice and relaxed into your chair. Mind your head, nice and relaxed into your chair. Anywhere else? Nice and relaxed, deeper you go, better you feel, deeper you go. One all the way in the back. I'm coming. Here's our first time touching now. Slowly open your eyes, come back, feeling good. Come back to the room. Where else? Anywhere else? Okay, good. Anyone else? Raise your hand if I'm missing one. Cool, okay. Nice and relaxed on stage. People on stage or out in the audience, doesn't matter wherever you are, nice and relaxed in your chairs. Nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable. I want you to remember that word, the word sleep. This is the most important word in the English dictionary for you. From this point in time on, when I say sleep, immediately, without question, without delay, you will collapse your entire body and melt into your chair 1,000 times. Holy shit. Deeper, hold on. I'll get back to you. Remember that, the word sleep. What, did he not do it, then do it again, then do it, like what? In and out? Okay. Just touch him on the shoulder. Sleep all the way down. Relax into your chair, deeper and deeper, all the way down. Don't push him. Mind your head, that's fine. Thank you. All the way down. The word sleep is extremely important to you. Whenever I say sleep, you'll collapse into your chair 1,000 times deeper each time. Let's try that. I'm going to count to 3. Whether you're in the audience or up here on stage, at the count of 3, you'll sit up in your chair with your eyes tightly closed. When I say sleep, you'll collapse into your chair 1,000 times deeper. If you're out there in the audience, mind your head. There's a chair in front of you. Only at the count of 3 now, all of you sitting up, eyes closed. 1, 2, 3. Sit up with your eyes closed. Take a deep breath of air in. And sleep all the way down. Let it all go into your chair. Deeper you go, better you feel. Stay in your chair. Mind your head.
Sugar. Sugar. 100% pure cane sugar. Come on, guys. Get your head out of the bricks. If that means anything. Cane sugar. Pure. Delicious.
All right, so for the induction, there's a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. Aside from the actual technique that we just discussed, here's a couple of things that will help your induction. First off is the maternal versus paternal voice. Here's what I mean by that. A maternal voice is a very soft voice. A paternal voice is a very sort of affirmative, authoritative voice. You'll notice in my induction, in the beginning, there's a very maternal tone. When I'm saying things like, with every breath you take, I want you to just relax deeper and all the way down. I'm going to count down now from 3 to 1. This is all maternal. Towards the end of the induction, and with the suggestions, when you're actually going to do the show, you want to get very paternal, very authoritative. So towards the end, you'll hear me shifting a little more towards, when I touch you on the shoulder, you're immediately going to collapse right into your chair. All the way down, 1,000 times deeper each time. Okay? So remember, keep that in mind. We start maternal, we shift towards paternal, and throughout the show later on when you give suggestions, you're going to be a lot more paternal. Second thing is filler. These are sentences that you have, you may have caught a few of mine, that you throw in to the induction wherever you want, and they serve as you gathering your thoughts and figuring out what you want to say next. And also they're called just sort of deepeners, right? They deepen the person. It's part of the induction, but it's these sort of generic sentences that could go anywhere just to buy you a little bit more time. I have 2 that I use a lot, and a lot of hypnotists use these 2. The first one is, the deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the deeper you go. You could throw that in anywhere. It really doesn't matter. And it's just a great sentence that creates this cycle of relaxation. The second one is, relaxing deeper with every breath you take, every sound you hear, every word I say. Again, that could go absolutely anywhere, and it just deepens them. And it's also like if you forgot what you want to say next, or you're formulating your thoughts, just throw one of these in. Memorize these 2 lines, and let me put it this way. There isn't too many times that you could say these lines. You could say it 100 times in your induction. It doesn't matter. They're great lines. Third of all, what am I looking for? This is great. When I'm doing the induction, what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for people who are really under. What that means is this. If I have somebody who's like this, like that, well, I'm going to get rid of them the first chance I get, which is not during the induction. Never interrupt your induction. If somebody sits up like this and it's not working for them, either very gently gesture them to get off stage, or just be like this. Just be like, I do this. I go, just stay right there. I'll get back to you. So you're seeing that. Now I'm seeing for people scratching. Now in the beginning, scratching is okay because they're sort of relaxing. But if it's towards the end of the induction, I'm seeing some of this or some of this, it's too late, buddy. You missed the train. So I keep that in mind. I'm going to wake them up in a second. I'm looking for the ones who are just really sort of like, when I have them open their eyes, they're really like this. And when I touch them and they go like this, really the ones who are really into it, because they're going to be the first ones I'm going to use. They're going to be my stars. Very, very important. I'm also looking for anybody up there who's up there to ruin the show. It happens very rarely, but sometimes you have somebody who's up there and they just want to ruin the show for you because they want to be the show. That I have no patience for that. I will immediately stop what I'm doing, even if I have to stop the induction midway, tell them to get the hell off stage. Like I have to be rude about it. It's very rare, but it's like, you're on my stage, have some respect. You got to have that authority. This is your stage. So get off, and then you restart the induction if you have to. This is worst case scenario. I think in a 10-year career, it's happened once where I had to be like, hey, get off stage now. And then I kept going with the induction. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for who the good ones are, who the ones that it's not working on R, and I'm going to get rid of them soon. I'm just trying to see what the situation is, what's going on. I'm also looking out in the audience when the arms come up with the helium balloons to see in the audience, happens all the time, who I have in the audience. So really look at the audience. And that's what I'm looking for. So now you've done your induction. They are all hunched over in their chair. Do you go straight to the show and start the show? No, you don't. Don't do it. There's a couple of things you have to do before you can do that. So before you can actually start doing your show and start doing your skits, which is going to be the last part of this DVD, where I'm going to tell you, like, which skits to do in what order, and what's possible, there's a few things that you have to do, and that'll just make the show a lot better. And here they are, in no specific order. You will again see these in the video, but let's start by talking about narrowing down. So you got to narrow down the people on stage that are hypnotized and the people that aren't. Now, the hard thing about narrowing down is this. When you have the arms up and you go sleep, 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 boom, and they're out, you don't really know quite yet who you're going to send back yet. There's a few you might know. There's a few you might know because during the induction, it really depends case by case. Some people during the induction, you saw they really didn't get into it. Their arms didn't go up. You know they're no good. Is this the time to get rid of them? Maybe. Maybe you could do it now. It's totally up to you. With experience, you'll find out when the best place is. I tend to do a good test before I send anybody back. So we'll get back to that. Now, let's talk about narrowing down. Whenever you choose to do it, here's how you do it. You touch the people that you're going to get rid of. So the people who open their eyes or who are not so into it or the test didn't work on, you touch them on the shoulders and you go, person I'm touching now, 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 and now. And you actually go physically touch them. I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I get to 5, you're going to open your eyes. You're going to feel great, alive and awake in every way. Perfectly normal. You're going to return to the audience, enjoy the show from there. As for the rest of you, the ones that I didn't touch, you will just go deeper into this state. So you're saying, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, but you don't want any of the good ones to wake up. So you're telling them, you're going to go deeper, but the ones I touch, you're going to come up. At the count of 1 and 2, only the ones that I touched. At the count of 3 and 4, your mind comes back, and at the count of 5, your body comes back. Now, eyes open, all of you, and the ones I touched, and you wait, eyes open, you look at them, you go, hey guys, how do you feel? You good? Okay, you go back to your place, thank you so much. Everybody give them a big round of applause. Don't waste too much time on this. You're getting rid of people who are not good. Just do it quick. Now, sometimes I do this twice. Once I do it right after the test, which we're going to talk about in a second, and then sometimes I do it after my first skit, which is the orchestra, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But I see that maybe the test worked, but during the orchestra something didn't work, and I had to send them back. And sometimes, rarely, 2 or 3 skits in, I notice that somebody's either waking up or it's not working so well on them. I might do it a 3rd time. But remember, quick and effective is the way. Person I'm touching now, 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 and now. I'm going to count to 5. At 5, only the ones I touched, your eyes are going to open. You're going to come back into the room feeling great, alive and awake in every way. The ones I didn't touch, you'll just go deeper in your state, prepare to put on a great show. At the count of 1 and 2, slowly your thoughts come back. At the count of 3 and 4, only the ones that I touched. At the count of 5, eyes open, come back into the room. Hey guys, how do you feel? You good? Thanks for being up here. You can go back. Let's give them a big round of applause. Simple as that. That's how you chunk down. People in the audience. Okay, if people get hypnotized in the audience, what you do is very simple. Again, it depends when you want to do this. I will never, ever risk the good people on stage for somebody in the audience. You want to make sure the people on stage are putting on a good show first. That's your priority. But if there's somebody in the audience whose arms go up when you do the balloon thing and you go sleep and they crash down, and then you're going to do the chair test, you're going to do the fraction and then the chair test. Anyways, you decide when. I would usually do it right after the test. You go up to them in the audience, touch them on the shoulder, or if you don't want to go all the way there because it wastes so much time, you ask for their names on the mic. Now, I always use a handheld mic because there's a point where I'm going to ask people on stage questions and I want them to be able to answer. So I go in my mic at this point, I go, the person there, what's his name? Okay, Jonathan, and then what's her name over there? Lindsay? Okay, I'm addressing myself to Jonathan and Lindsay. I'm going to count to 3. Your eyes are going to pop open. You're going to come on stage. You're going to have a seat here on the stage. And when I say sleep, you'll go right back into that deep state of relaxation that you're in right now, which is really a fractionation. 1, 2, 3. Jonathan, Lindsay, open your eyes. Hey guys, come on up here. Come on up here. Jonathan, Lindsay, come on up here. Come grab a seat. They sit down. You look them right in the eye. You go take a deep breath of air and sleep. We're going to talk about putting them back into sleep later. But yeah, if people in the audience are asleep, I guess right after the fractionation or right after the The test, you can bring them up on stage. Okay. Conditioning to noise and laughter. This is extremely important. Right after, the order is kind of wrong. This should be all the way up here because it is the first thing I do after the induction. So keep that in mind. This is the first thing I do after the induction, and then this is the second thing I do right after the induction. So this order is kind of weird. So let's say I've done these two, which we'll talk about in a second. After I've fractionated, after I've done the test with the chair, which you'll know what it is in a sec, to know that everyone's good to go, I condition them to noise. I say this, I go, from this point in time on, you might hear noises from the audience, people cheering, laughing, having a good time. This means that they are just having a great time, and this will mean one thing to you and one thing alone, that is complete and total relaxation. You don't care about the audience. It's like you're too relaxed to care. They cannot affect you. You are too relaxed. And another thing, I am removing your sense of humor. From this point in time on, unless I specify otherwise, nothing is funny to you. You're just too relaxed to laugh. I say that because I hate people on stage who are hypnotized and they're doing something and they're laughing about it. It seems so fake. So I remove that. And I say, if you do laugh at any point, I will be forced to wake you up and send you back to the audience. Because I really don't want them to laugh up there. So I condition them to noise and laughter. Really important. Now, let's go ahead and talk about fractionating first. I'm sorry about this, guys. I put this in the wrong order, but we'll talk about fractionating first. So as soon as I've done this, arms up and down, and I have them in this position where I said sleep, 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 stay in your chair, sleep, stay in your chair, sleep, stay in your chair, I go straight to fractionating. Here's what I say. From this point in time on, I want you to remember that word sleep. It is the most important word in the English dictionary to you. From this point in time on, whenever you get the command or the suggestion of sleep, you will immediately collapse your entire body and melt right into your chair 1,000 times deeper. Regardless of what you're doing, you will close your eyes immediately and fall right down into your chair 1,000 times deeper each time. This isn't, now listen to this line, this isn't mind control. This is just your unconscious mind telling your body that it's time to relax. I put it on them. So important. Let's test that. At the count of 3, you will all sit straight in your chair with your eyes tightly closed. But when I say sleep, you will fall back into your chair 1,000 times more relaxed, 1,000 times deeper. Here we go. Only at the count of 3, all of you, sitting up in your chairs, eyes tightly closed. 1, 2, 3. Sit up in your chairs, and now they all go like this. Take a deep breath of air in with your eyes tightly closed and sleep. And now they melt into their chairs. Let's try that a second time. 1, 2, 3. Sit up in your chairs, eyes tightly closed. Deep breath of air in and sleep all the way down 1,000 times deeper. A third and final time. 1, 2, 3. Sit up in your chairs, eyes tightly closed and sleep. I don't finish my sentence. That confuses the brain, and it sort of gets to go up and down now 1,000 times deeper. So now I've fractionated. I've gotten them deeper by conditioning them that every time I say sleep, they're going to go deeper and deeper. So you've done the arms, you do the fractionation. You kind of take a look around. Is anybody not in? This might be a good time to narrow it down, but I don't yet. I go to the chair test. You could look at the chair test. I don't always do the chair test. If I have a lot of great subjects and everybody's just collapsing on stage, I go straight to my first act, the orchestra. But if I'm not sure and I want to deepen them and I want to slowly progress, I do the chair test. Now, the chair test could be replaced by any test. It could be replaced by the finger lock that we spoke about earlier. But I do this. I say this. Everyone in your chairs now, at the count of 3, only at the count of 3, I will snap my fingers. You will sit up in your chair once again with your eyes tightly closed. But when I ask you to stand up from your chair, this will be impossible. You will not be able to stand up from your chair. You are stuck to your chair with the world's strongest super glue. Your chair is stuck to the floor with the world's strongest super glue. And you know that the more you try to stand up, the more impossible it is. And this isn't mind control. This is just your imagination becoming your reality through means of your unconscious. I love that line because you're putting it on them. Only at the count of 3 now, sitting up in your chairs, eyes closed, stuck to your chair. 1, 2, 3. Sit up in your chairs and go ahead and test it. Notice you're stuck to that chair. Go ahead, test it. Really test it. You are stuck to that chair. Notice something here, guys. I'm not saying try to stand up because stand up could be a suggestion. I'm not saying that. I'm saying test it. Notice how you're stuck to your chair. The more you try, the harder it is. And I keep pounding it in there. And they're like this now. They're struggling and they're going to go, come on, try it harder. You can't do it, can you? And now some people do stand up. Those are the people I'm going to narrow down in a sec. And now, stop trying, sleep 1,000 times deeper. I remind them that. This is your fractionating again. Every time in my show, I go, sleep 1,000 times deeper. I remind them constantly they're going deeper into the state. So, again, arms up, Sleep, 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 sleep. In the audience, sleep, sleep, sleep. Fractionate, up and down, up and down. Maybe at this point, get the people from the audience on stage. Sleep, chair test. Okay? Chair test now, they're stuck. Now I know. My first narrow down comes in at this point. So if you have a notebook, just reorder this. Fractionate, test, people in audience, you get them on stage, and then narrow down maybe. This is interchangeable, 3 and 2. It's really up to you. Maybe you want to do the chair test in the audience, maybe not, totally up to you. With time, you'll realize that you can play around with this, and then condition them to the noise from the audience. And this also tells the audience, it's fine now, you can laugh, we're good. And finally, they don't have a sense of humor. Now, sometimes the whole sense of humor thing, I might wait till after the orchestra, which is my first skit that I do. Or sometimes I throw in with this. Really depends on my mood. But these are the 5 things you do after your induction and before you start your show. Now you've done it. You've done a good induction, arms up, arms down, you've fractionated, you've done the chair test, you've eliminated, you've narrowed down whoever you don't want, you have the people who are in the audience on stage, you've conditioned them that noise will not wake them up, in fact it'll relax them more, and we are ready to go with the show. Before we talk about the show and what you're going to do in your show and what's possible with hypnosis and what's funny with hypnosis, let's talk about the structure of a suggestion. Basically, for every skit that you're going to do for the rest of your show, including waking them up, you're going to have to suggest what's about to happen. Now, in the show, you've already done it a couple of times. You've done it when you fractionated, when you said, at the count of 3, you're going to sit up in your chair. When I say sleep, you're going to go deeper into that state. You've done it with the chair test. When you said at the count of 3, you're going to sit up in your chair, you're going to be stuck to your chair. But let's really go over what the structure of a suggestion is. It includes the answer to 3 questions: when, what, and how. First one is when. The answer to when is almost always, or I guess 90% of the time, the following. At the count of 3, only at the count of 3 when I snap my fingers. That's how I start my suggestion. I'm clearly telling them when it's going to happen. Now, sometimes they're not in this position when you're going to give a suggestion. They're already like this, but something's going to happen. So you have to say, when you take a sip from your bottle, when I snap my fingers, when I clap my hands, when I stomp my foot. You always start with when. What is the indication of that thing that's going to happen? So another one is, for the rest of the show, every time I say your name. There's some suggestions where you're picking on this guy where every time in the show you say something, something's going to happen to him. Well, that's the indication of when. So you always start with the when. Then you say the what. All right, what's going to happen? As briefly as possible, what is going to happen? Are you going to be cold? Are they going to be stuck to their chair? Are they going to play instruments? Are they going to speak in foreign tongue? Are they going to hallucinate an elephant next to them? Whatever it is, what's going to happen? And then how? Give a little bit more detail. So I'm randomly going to take a skit from, actually, you know what? The first one, the orchestra. Here's how I formulate that. So when, what, and how. At the count of 3, only at the count of 3. You will sit up, your eyes closed. This will be the last time your eyes are closed. So what? That's part of the what. Like, their eyes are going to be closed. You have to say what they're going to be doing. And you will believe yourselves to be wonderful orchestra musicians. Some of you playing small instruments like flutes and violins. Some of you playing great big instruments like bass and pianos. But you're here indeed to put on a show for hundreds and thousands of people. You want to put on the show of a lifetime. When you hear the music begin to play, simply put a great big smile on your face and play your instruments with such life like you have never played them before, because this is your concert. I want to see a ton of great energy up here, and I want you to put on the show of a lifetime. Remember to keep those eyes tightly closed. Only at the count of 3 now. So now, once you've done all that, you reiterate. Only at the count of 3 now. 1, 2, 3, eyes open. And that's it. That's how you formulate a suggestion. When's it going to happen first? What's going to happen? How's it going to happen? Reiterate and go. Let's do one more example. This is, let's say you want to do one where, I was going to make one up, like a very generic one. You want somebody to get up and start reciting poetry in an alien tongue. They're a poet from Mars. Just made that up. At the count of 3, only at the count of 3, you will sit up, your eyes open. After I introduce you, so eyes open, after I introduce you, you will grab the mic from me and you will be a poet from Mars. You will grab the microphone out of my hands and you'll start reciting your favorite poem. This makes you very emotional as you recite poetry in a language that doesn't exist. At the count of three, not only at the count of three, sitting up, eyes open, you are a poet from Mars. 1, 2, 3, eyes open, and then you just go, hey guys, we got a poet from Mars, and you hand him the mic, and there he goes. So remember, be clear, be concise, when, what, how. If it's not clear for you, it's not clear for them, and sometimes confusion can wake them up if they don't know what they're supposed to do. So remember this, practice. So, hypnosis is so much about practicing your script. Don't go and try to wing it. Have a script where you can automatically just say the suggestion. And that's it. That's how you formulate a suggestion. So this is the hierarchy of hypnotic phenomena. Now there's a lot of different versions of this that you're going to find. This is my version. I believe that this is a very strong and very accurate version. If you go by this, you'll be able to build a very strong show. What the hierarchy is basically anything you can get somebody to do under hypnosis falls into one of these 6 categories, and I've rated them on difficulty from 1 to 5, so 5 being the hardest. We're going to talk about what they are, what the difficulties are, what the challenges are, and then I'm going to go through my own show and tell you where each of them falls. Some skits are a mix of 2 of these, maybe even 3, but that's rare. As you'll notice, these are on a scale from 1 to 5. 5 being the hardest, 1 being the easiest. What that means is the depth of the trance that they're in. Anything that's a 1 or a 2 on this, you could do in very light trance, towards the beginning of your show, when they're not really... Because remember, every time you say sleep, you're going 1,000 times deeper. And with time, they are going deeper and deeper. So in light trance, in the beginning, you could do the 1s and the 2s. It's things that work when you're in a very light trance. The 4s and the 5s are things that it's more advanced. They got to be in a deeper trance, or you got to get the really good subjects. So towards the end of your show, you pick the best ones to do the 4s and the 5s. So here we go. This is what you need to keep in mind when you're structuring your show. Let's start with the first one. The first one is catalepsy. Catalepsy means any time where hypnotically you limit somebody's movement capacity to move. So whether you're getting their arm to lock in place, like lock their arm and they can't move it, whether you're getting their eyes to lock, whether you're getting their hands to lock, stuck to chair, these are all catalepsy. You are limiting their movement. It ranges on a scale from 1 to 2 of difficulty. It's very easy. Catalepsy is the only one of all of these that you could do even without hypnosis. You can lock someone's eyes, you can lock someone's hands without even hypnotizing them. If you find somebody susceptible and suggestible, you could do all this stuff, even an arm lock, like not being able to move their arm before the hypnosis. So, catalepsy is very easy, often used as a suggestibility test, and sometimes often used as the first skit in the show. For example, for me, I do the stuck to chair, which is technically my first skit. I still do some conditioning after that, so it's kind of like towards the end of the induction, but it's technically still the first thing I get them to do. So catalepsy is a perfect starting point. Limiting their movements, whether it's your whole body is like made of stone and you can't move, or your arms are locked, or you can't move your head, or you have magnets on your hands and every time I stick them you can't move. That's a great place to start your show. It's very easy. Second one, physical sensations. A great place to go in the beginning of your show. I've ranked it as a 2. Physical sensation means anything that they're going to feel physically that's not actually happening. Whether they feel like it's hot in the room, it's cold in the room. Itches, that's something I do a lot. Like you have these little bugs. You gotta get rid of the bugs, but that's got a bit of a hallucination if you have them hallucinate bugs. But just you're itching like crazy as the music plays. I love to use music. Condition what they're going to do to music. So as the music is playing, you have itches all over your body and you got to scratch. As the music plays, you're going to get colder and colder every time I clap my hands. That's directly out of my show. Every time I clap my hands, you're going to get colder, and we're going to see it. You're going to do whatever you can to keep warm. So that's any physical sensation, anything you're going to feel physically. Nothing too intense. It's just literally things that they're feeling physically that is inaccurate about the state of the room or about the state of them. Pretty easy to do. I place it as a 2. Really not that difficult. Okay, let's go to role-playing. Very awesome hypnotic phenomena. There's a lot that you could do with role-playing, and there's subsections of role-playing. And let's go through those. The first one is something I've done. So something they've done. For example, everybody at some point or another in their life has had dinner, has had food. So you can have them role-play that they're preparing a meal. Now that's a bad example because it wouldn't be that funny. I'm just trying to give an example. That involves a hallucination because that's to hallucinate the ingredients. But okay, here's a really funny one. This is something I used to do in my show. I would bring a bunch of random ingredients: gummy bears, peanut butter, salt, pepper, bread, jam, things that just don't go together, cold cuts, and I would have them believe that they are making dinner. And they would make the most disgusting sandwich ever. They would like peanut butter and cold cuts and gummy bears and chocolate, M&Ms and stuff, and then, another piece of bread, and then I would have them eat it. So that's something everyone's done before. Everybody at some point in their life has made themselves a sandwich. So that's a very easy role play, something they've done before because they have the resources to know how to do it. If we go back to talking about the physical sensation of being cold, that's also a bit of a role play. If you live in Canada, for example, and I tell you when I snap my fingers, you're going to sit up, and every time I clap my hands, it's going to get cold, you're role-playing being cold, and it's something you've done before. So it's very easy to get somebody to pretend or role-play something that they've already done before. Maybe they're shopping, right? Maybe you say, oh, here's a funny one. I just made this up. The audience is actually a shopping mall, and you're shopping. So you give them a bag, and they go and they take things from people, their watches and their hats, and they put in this bag because they're shopping. That's a role play that they've done before. It's very easy because everyone's gone shopping before. The second one is something I haven't done but is possible. The best example for that is my orchestra. My first piece is when I have everybody sit up and play this big, they're an orchestra and the music's playing and they're all wailing on their instruments, which you'll see in the live footage. So there's two kinds of people in the audience. People who have played an instrument before. For them it's very easy because they have done this before. And then there's people who have never played an instrument, but it's possible. It's possible for them to one day pick up an instrument and learn how to do it. That's a 2. It's anywhere between a 1 and a 2. It's very easy because it's not hard for me to imagine what it would be like to play the trumpet even if I've never played. Everybody could sort of relate to that. It's very easy. The third one is someone I've never been. So at the count of 3, you're going to sit up, your eyes are going to pop open, and you are President Obama, and you're going to give a speech. You are, I don't know, it could be something very specific, like you are Elvis Presley, and you're going to show us some rock moves as the music plays. Or it could be something more broad, like you are an expert on ducks, and you're going to educate us about ducks. It could be whatever. So someone I've never been. That's a 3. It's a little bit more difficult to get somebody to believe that they are somebody that they've never been before. This is usually the type of thing you would do in your 3rd or 4th skit in. Once you have them in, they've done some easier stuff. You can go to that and pick your best subject and have them pretend they're somebody that they've never been before. Again, earlier I spoke about being a Martian poet. Well, I think it's safe to assume that nobody on stage has previously been a Martian poet, so that's a great example right there. Yeah, that's another example. Like you are, take an American person on stage and say you are Spanish, and now they have to speak Spanish, so obviously not real Spanish, or Martian, or whatever it is. Anything where they have to be someone that they've never been before is a 3. It's a little harder, but still not that tough. The hardest role play is to make somebody something they've never been before. So, such a classic. So like, oh, you're going to turn me into a chicken? We don't actually do that anymore. But if we did, it would fall in this category. It's possible for somebody to one day be the president of the United States. Very unlikely, but possible. It's easier to imitate Elvis because you're a human being. So it's easier to impersonate another human being. Role-playing something that you've never been before is an example of saying, at the count of 3, you're going to set your eyes are going to pop open, and for all intents and purposes, you're an elephant. And you're going to walk on the stage stomping around and believing you're an elephant. Or you're going to set up with your eyes open, and you are, every time I clap my hands, you are a dishwasher. I don't know. I just made that up off the top of my head. Turning them into something that it's not possible for a human being to be. It's impossible. That's the hardest one. Because not only do they have to disconnect from who they are, they have to disconnect from the fact that they're a human being and become something else. This is usually something that's towards the end of the show. You could do it to 2 or 3 people. And it's usually something that you do with subjects that are better than, like the good ones. The ones who are really engaged. Okay, amnesia. Amnesia is very easy. Amnesia can go right up here because amnesia is another thing, actually. Earlier I said that catalepsy is the only thing you could do without hypnosis in a waking state. That's false. You can cause amnesia in somebody who's not technically under hypnosis. You can get them to forget certain things just in the way that you speak. We do it a lot of the time. We use NLP to do that. I actually have a video on YouTube where I did that. It got quite popular. Anyways, Darren Brown, for a lot of you who know who Darren Brown is, he does a lot of that. So amnesia, there's two things people could forget. They could forget the natural order of things, or they could forget something altogether. Forgetting the natural order of things is, for example, at the count of 3, I'm going to snap my fingers, you're going to sit up, your eyes are going to pop open, and you are not going to remember the alphabet in the correct order. You'll remember the first 3, A, B, C, but after that, you're lost and you can't remember it. Now, I used to do that in my show with everyone at the same time, everyone on stage. So they would all stand up, and I would go, A, B, C, D, and they would all start singing, but they're all saying something different, and it's a big mess on stage. They're all confused, and they don't know, and they can't remember. You can also tell somebody you can't remember how to spell your own name. So at the count of 3, you'll remember the first letter, but with every letter progressive, you'll just start to lose it more and more. 1, 2, 3, sit up, you go, what's your name? And they go, my name is George, and you go, how do you spell that? What's the first letter? They go, G, and then you go, what's after G? They go, E, and you go, what's after the E? F? Yeah, F, and then what's after that? I think it's R. So that's really funny, you get them to forget the order. What I do in my show is I get them to forget the number 2 when they count. So they go 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now they have 6 fingers, and they're very confused. So this is forgetting the order of things. That's a 2. Forgetting something entirely, also a 2. It's a different type of thing. It's also quite easy. Maybe sometimes it extends to a 3, but I really doubt it. Forgetting something altogether. Forgetting their name altogether. Like when you ask them their name, they don't know what it is. When you ask, where they're from, they don't know where they're from. Forgetting actual bits of information that are there altogether. Not forgetting the order, but just they have no idea what it is. That's amnesia of complete loss of memory. Maybe that's, let's go ahead and change that 3. Let's go ahead and, my 3 is really ugly, but let's go ahead and change to 3. It is a little bit more elaborate. I do tend to do things like that more towards the end of my show, or middle to end of my show. That's why I hesitate between 2 and 3. Like, it's not hard, guys. It's just not the easiest thing in the world. So it's somewhere between a 2 and a 3, which, ironically, that's what this weird number looks like. Emotions. One of my favorites is to play with their emotions, to build skits where one of my signature moves, which I've done on the Discovery Channel, I do in every one of my shows, is my emotion potion, where they take a sip of a drink and every emotion that they name is what they're going to feel. So saying something like, every time I say the word 7, that's the funniest thing to you. That's playing with their emotions. Every time I show you this ball, you're going to start crying because it's the saddest thing to you. Every time I snap my fingers, you're pissed at somebody in the audience. Just playing with their emotions like that. Very funny, and it's a 2. It's very, very easy to play with somebody's emotions. So that's really a great one. There's so much creativity there. So many places you could go with that. And finally, the hallucinations. Hallucinations are the hardest one. In fact, the only 5 that I have is a hallucination. I'll tell you what these little hieroglyphics mean. You have 3 types of hallucinations: positive, negative, and neutral. I made up this sign for neutral because I didn't know what else to do. A positive hallucination is, pay attention, I look somewhere where there's nothing and I hallucinate something. So, if I look here on this couch and I imagine that there is a little puppy. Oh, he's so cute. That's a positive hallucination. There's actually nothing there, but I'm hallucinating that there is. Now let your imagination run with this. There are infinite possibilities. You're going to imagine that you have, a little bird in your hands. And then what are you going to do with that bird? Evolve it. You are going to imagine that there is, your dream girl in front of you, or guy. What are you saying to them? On the mic, like this big, they reveal their profound love for this person. You are going to imagine that in front of you is a buffet of the most delicious food you've ever seen. Like, what are they going to do? How are we going to change it? How can we make that funny? Maybe you hallucinate a bag of the Harry Potter beans. Oh my God, that's such a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, some of them are really good and some of them are disgusting. That's amazing. So that's a hallucination, a positive hallucination. Negative hallucination, the hardest thing, and I do this in my show, is to see somewhere, to look somewhere where there's something and not see it. That's a negative hallucination. In my show, there's a portion where I do something called invisible hypnotist, where when I clap my hands, I become invisible to them, and they start freaking out, and I start lifting this bottle of water, and they just lose their mind because, like, why is, and you'll see that again in the video, where they have no idea what's going on. In fact, you know what? We'll go ahead and play that for you right now. Take a look.
People on stage, at the count of three, only at the count of three, you will sit up, your eyes will pop open, and you'll notice that I, Spidey, the hypnotist, I'm in front of you, and I'm one of the greatest magicians in the world. Here's why. Every time I clap my hands and make this sound, I will completely disappear from head to toe. You will have no idea where I am. You won't even be able to look roughly in my direction. I will be gone. For all intents and purposes, I will vanish. This will be the freakiest thing you've ever seen. You might back up a fear, you will, but be careful of the people around you and behind you. Don't like knock into someone or drop your chair on somebody's foot or something. Be very careful, but you will be terrified. It's really the scariest thing you've ever seen. When I stomp my foot, I will reappear wherever I am, even if I'm like an inch in front of your face, bam, I'll just reappear right in front of you. These will be the freakiest things you've ever seen. You cannot leave this stage of fear. You have to stay on this stage, and I mean even backstage. You can't go backstage. You have to stay on this stage no matter how scared you are, and be careful with my banners. Some of you might try to hide behind them in fear. Be careful, don't want to destroy them. If I move things while I'm invisible, this will be terrifying to you, because it's like they're just floating. Only at the count of three now, all of your eyes open. Every time I clap my hands, I completely vanish. This is crazy. It's like amazing, intriguing, and terrifying at the same time. When I stomp my foot, I reappear. Here we go. All of you at the count of three, eyes open. I'm right here in front of you. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open. You could see me. I'm right here. All of you, eyes open. Everyone, eyes open. Everyone, eyes open. Welcome back. Good. Good. Okay, so we have all you guys on stage, or this full committee up here on stage, because I want you guys to know that I'm not using any trap doors, because magicians sometimes do that. So if I were to do this right here, does anybody think there might be a trap door here somewhere? No, right? And if this were a trap door, you guys would see it open, right? Okay. Furthermore, are there any threads or anything like that over my head? Check it out, all of you. Or some of you, check it out. Anything on top of my head? Nothing there. We also have the audience. You guys are there to make sure I'm not like jumping off the stage and hiding down there somewhere, right? Great. Eyes on me, all of you. The curtain behind you, it's very expensive. Don't touch the curtain. What's up, guys? Is that cool? Did you see that? Say right back. Is that cool? Come grab a seat, guys. All of you sit down. Everyone sit down.
So as you could see there, they didn't see me. That's a negative hallucination. They didn't know I was there. They're looking in a space where I'm standing and they don't see me. That's very, very difficult. That's a 5. It's the hardest thing to do, but don't be discouraged. I do it in my show. Now, please don't take what I do in my show exactly as I do it. Try to get creative with that. You know, maybe you're putting money in front of them and they don't see it. And you're saying, hey, if you see any money, you can go ahead and take it. But they don't see it. Things like that, you know. Evolve it. I mean, use these. I'm describing these for you to take it and go, okay, what can I do with that? Not to steal the ideas that I'm listing. And finally, the neutral hallucination. The easiest of hallucinations is to look where there's one thing and see something else. So, for example, this pillow is your boyfriend, you know, and so you can see them like sort of kissing the pillow or something like that. Or this belt is actually a snake. I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? Actually, don't do that. That's just an example. That's out of Mark Savar's show in Vegas. He's a great hypnotist, so don't take that because I'm not allowed to teach that. It's just an example. This ball is actually a ball of fire, the hot, 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 hot. Or, this, there's so many examples, this, and it's so funny. Your shoe is actually a telephone, they get on the phone. Anything. This toy, like this silly little toy is actually the most valuable thing in the world to you, and you want to be protective. Yeah. It could be anything, where you give them one thing and they interact with it as though it's something else. That's a neutral hallucination, and that's the 3. It's the easiest one. So, rewind this. Go over this explanation again, and try to see what you could come up with. Because I'm going to list my show now, and I'm going to tell you where each of my skits fall, but I really don't want you to guys be like, oh, that's really good, I'm going to do that one. Oh, that's really good, I'm going to do that one. Get creative. I'm trying to inspire you here, not create clones of my show. Okay, so here we go. I start with the orchestra. Everybody in the on stage is a musician. That is a role play of, depending on the person on stage, something I've done or something I haven't done, because some of them have played instruments before, and they'll be a lot better at it. You'll see technique with the fingers, you'll see all this sort of obvious technique, and it's great. Then I go to a thing where music's playing, and every time I clap my hands, they feel cold. That is a physical sensation with, I guess, a little bit of role-playing of something they've done before, because everybody's been cold at some point. So it's a little bit of both. Physical sensation with a physical role-play. From there, I have one person forget the number 2. A girl forgets number 2 when she's counting and laughs at the number 7. That would be an amnesia of order for the number 2, and it would be a, what did we say the laughter was? An emotion. An emotion would be the laughter. So the laughter would be an emotion. So that's 2 in 1. And at the same time, I tell somebody that every time I say his name, his nipples are going to get into an argument. That's a couple of things. First of all, there's a bit of role play in there because, none of us actually talk to our nipples, so that's a bit of role play. But it's also a neutral hallucination, mistaking your nipples for something that actually talks, when everybody knows that nipples don't. So every time I say his name, he's talking to his nipples and stuff. That is hallucination / role play. From there, I go into making 2 guys into karate masters. I say every time this music plays throughout the show, regardless of what you're doing, you are going to go into, on stage, you're going to stand up, you're going to come to the front, you're going to bow to the audience, and you're going to be karate masters. That is definitely a role play, probably something that they haven't done. Maybe they've done it before, but probably they haven't. So that's a role play. Then we go into the emotion potion, where they're taking shots of this drink, and every time I name an emotion, that's the emotion they feel. I go from laughter to feeling like you're really good looking and you get up and show it off, to all kinds of stuff, and we'll show you that. You know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at that now. It's a lot of fun.
This is so weird. This is known as an emotion potion. We don't know how they're making it. We don't know what they're putting in here. But you take one little sip of this, and it just totally messes with your emotions. I don't really know how it works, but look, open it up, and don't drink. Open it up, good, everyone's got it, good. The first one is uncontrollable, ridiculous laughter. Try it, you'll see it's like... Dude, what's so fun? What's so funny? Let that laughter fade away, let that laughter fade away. Grab your bottles, let that laughter fade away. It's fading away, the effect is wearing off, That was pretty awesome. On the next sip, you cannot get up, you can't go anywhere, so you can't stand up, you're stuck to your chair's stuck to the floor, you can't move your chair, you can't go anywhere, you gotta stay where you are. But on the next sip, you're gonna notice that the person next to you, the person closest to you, not me, not the cameraman, the person sitting closest to you absolutely stinks. It's disgusting. It's gut-wrenching, it's horrible. And you gotta try to find a way to block the smell, but it's still somehow getting to you. None of you are actually gonna throw up, that's very important, but it's just gross. And here's the weird thing. You can identify the smell. You know what that is. It's not garbage, it's not shit, it's something else. You know what it is, and you're willing to tell me. Go ahead, take a sip. You're gonna notice, oh my God. Oh, man. Hey, can anybody point to where that smell is coming from? That's disgusting. Point to where that's coming from. That's gross. Oh my God, ew. Hey, who knows what that is? Raise your hand if you can tell me what that is. Raise your hand. What the heck is that? What is that?
I don't know.
Any, does anybody know? Come here, tell me what that is.
Smells like my old roommate.
I hope your old roommate's not there. Dude, what the hell? What is that? Come here, what?
Cow
Specifically cow. All right, let that smell go away. Let that smell go away. The smell is gone. The smell is gone. The smell is gone. Okay, guys.
So as you can see, that's a great example of emotions, just playing with their emotions. There's obviously a bit of a neutral hallucination in there because they're looking at a bottle of water and seeing this emotion potion, which that's not what it is. Is there anything else? I think there's definitely a bit of role playing in there, especially towards the end because it's making them feel elaborate things that they're not actually feeling at this moment. So role play of something I've done, but they're doing it now. So it's a mix of a few things. Yeah. So there's a good one. Then we go into, well, it depends. I take my show in certain directions at this point, but there's the one where I take 3 people and convince them that they're the world's worst superheroes. Let's take a look at what that looks like.
1, 2, 3, 4. At the count of 3, you will sit up, your eyes will pop open, and you will all find yourselves to be superheroes. You have superpowers. Each of you has a superpower. But here's the thing. You don't fly. You don't lift buildings. You don't burst into flames. You actually have the world's worst superpower. You each have one power, and it's like the worst, lamest power on the face of the planet. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. It's like, it is supernatural. Nobody else in the world could do this. It is something supernatural. But it's just the worst, lamest, most useless power in the world. One by one, I'm going to interview you about your power. You also have a superhero name, and you have a full story as to how you got this power. Something happened. You weren't born with it. An event occurred, and you got this power. You're going to tell us about this power, what it is, what you do, and I'm going to interview one at a time. Can we have the house lights up a little bit for this? Just a little, not too much, just so I can see the audience. Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you so much. So if I touch you at the count of 3, you'll sit up one at a time. I'll interview you about your powers, your superhero name. You do have a name. And by the way, you take your job extremely seriously. You think this is a great power, but you are, in fact, the world's worst superheroes. At the count of 3 now, only the ones that I touched. As for the rest of you, if you want to readjust with your eyes closed to be more comfortable, you can. Only the 4 that I touched. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open. The ones I touched, the ones I touched. So guys, we have the rest of you just readjust. Great. Guys, we have a couple of superheroes here that are ready to interview, about their lives as superheroes. Who would want to go first? Raise your hand if you're down to. Yeah, come on up, man. Come on up. Yeah, come on, man. Come on up right here, man, where this X is, so everybody can hear you. Yeah. So first of all, what is your real human name? What's your real, actual human name?
Jack Fenton.
Jack what? Fenton. And what is? You have a superhero name?
Fuckhead.
We're just going to call you F-Head from now on. We're going to call you F-Head. And what on earth is your superpower?
I scream really loud.
So, first of all, what is your real human name?
Real human name's Edwin.
Edwin. And what is your superhero name?
My superhero name? You call me Dinocchio?
What is it? Say it again.
Dinocchio.
Pinocchio. Oh, man! You guys see where this is going? I'm assuming this has to do with eyes. No, well, tell me.
Well, it's got a problem, you see. When I'm with girls, it starts growing. It starts at the same time getting thinner. And thinner and thinner.
Like a dry spaghetti. So it grows and it gets thinner, and then
Longer. But thinner.
utterly useless. Okay, and then what? Can you retract it?
Well, only when I'm done.
That's good to know. Yeah, I always love the superhero girls. What is your actual name?
I can't tell you.
It's the secret identity. Got it. Okay, and what is your superhero name?
White trash.
What do you do, white trash?
I turn all them to trash.
So you can look at girls and just turn them into a pile of garbage.
Yes.
You snap?
Yes.
You snap at girls and they turn into garbage.
Yes.
Guys too, or just girls?
Both. It depends.
You could turn any human being into a pile of garbage.
Yes.
Are they still conscious and alive, or they're just a pile of garbage?
They're a pile. I can turn them back if I want to, but I usually don't. Just
You just leave them?
to the curb. And they're good. They're good.
They're good.
Yeah.
So we know your real name is Nick. We know that. We know that Nick is your real name. So Nick is what people call you.
Oh my god, okay, it stunk a little bit, yes, I farted, okay, big deal, I farted.
Great, good. That's not your superpower? That's something else?
That's no.
That's got nothing to do with it. Okay, so what's your superhero name? Hold on, tell me first. Oh, that's cool. You could say that. So it's actually very good because you match with someone else on stage here. What is your name?
The Garbage Man.
Garbage Man. Garbage Man. And what do you do, Garbage Man?
Well, I heard that there was a dumb named White Trash.
Oh my God! I'm familiar with her. She turns people into garbage.
Exactly. What do you do? I pick up her
In a moment, the music's going to play. You guys are going to go out into the audience and show these people your powers. So you, hold on. Wait, I have an idea. Don't move. Hold on, not yet. Yeah, it's a good one. Don't mind him. You are going to notice that these audience members are innocent. They're not the bad ones. In these aisles, you see these aisles, and in any empty seats that you could find, if there's some around there, so empty seats and aisles, there's a bunch of invisible bad guys that you got to turn into trash. Do you understand? They're invisible. You could see them. We can't. They're in the aisles, and they're in all the empty seats. There's a few here. I mean, luckily it's a great audience, but if you find any empty seats, you turn them into trash, okay? You don't dislike her, you actually like her, you're a sidekick, so you're going to do what you do and go clean up after her, got it? Look at me, yes, you do like her, got it? You are going to do exactly what your power is, but here's the thing. 1 out of 5 times when you go to scream your word, instead of the word that you're supposed to scream, you scream the word daisies instead, but really angry, like really loud. And you're like, whoa, that was embarrassing, and you move on and you keep doing your thing. You want to test for these lovely people the extent of your power. So you're already turned on, that's a given. You're gonna go stand in places where there's a lot of space in front of you, and you're just gonna do your thing and see how far it goes. And when you're done, retract and go show another group. So just demonstrate to different groups of people what you do. Hold on. You are not touching any women. Wait! Or men. When the music starts, go do your thing. Music, please.
go get this seat over here. Oh, were you there? Yeah, that's fine. Sit there. That's fine. Back on stage. Yeah, leave the broom there. You're done. We're good. Yeah, leave it right there. That's great. Thank you so much. Yeah. Whoa. Come on over here. Come grab a seat right here. That was beyond incredible. That was amazing. Right there. Thank you. Sit down. All four of you. Deep breath of air in. And sleep all the way down into your chairs.
So that one is obviously a role play of someone I've never been with, maybe a little bit of something I've never been, because they're a superhero. But I think that's mainly someone I've never been. And obviously a little bit of hallucination depending on the superpowers that they have. They're obviously hallucinating certain things that aren't true. So that's why it's towards the end of the show. Hallucinations plus role play, it's a little difficult. Then we have the invisible hypnotist, where I say every time I clap my hands, I'm going to go invisible. That is a negative hallucination, probably technically the hardest thing I do in the show. Some other stuff I do in my show is when I have a couple of guys become monkeys, gorillas, and a couple of girls become gorilla trainers. So they walk them around the audience and have them do tricks and things like that, and then I ask them questions and demonstrate stuff. So that, for the girls, is a role play of something I've never done. So they're gorilla trainers, but it's a role play. And for the guys, it's a role play of something I've never been. So it's two role plays, one of which is more difficult than the other. And finally, I have my famous Chinese rapper to close my show, where there's a guy who's a Chinese rapper and all these people on stage are his biggest fans. And that is obviously all role playing. He is someone he's never been, which is a Chinese rapper, and they are something I've never done, which is an easy hallucination, where they think they're fans of this Chinese rapper. Okay? So remember, you give your suggestion, you see the skit through, and then if you have to bring them back to their chairs, you sit them down, sleep, deepen the sleep. Make that a sketch too. You know, sometimes the way you put them back into sleep, because technically you just go sleep, sleep, or you could say to all of them, look at me in the eyes, take a deep breath of air in, and sleep. That's possible too. But get original with the way you put them to sleep. Here's a couple of original ways I put them back to sleep.
You told me your name earlier, but I forgot. What is it? Sleep all the way down. Hi there, what's your name? Sleep all the way down. Hi, give me your hand. Take a deep breath in. What's your name? Say it. Look at me over here. Say it again. How do you say it backwards? Sleep all the way down. All right, if you're on stage, I want to show you this. Eyes open. If you're sleeping, that's fine. Those of you who had a bottle, second to go check this out. This is a sleep wand. It's amazing the way it works. You point it to someone, it makes a noise like this. Pew! And it puts you to sleep. It's crazy. It doesn't hurt, never hurts. Watch. Pew! 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 Hi, here, you take it. Just one thing like this. Yeah, come on up here. Come on up. Point to I make the noise. Point to him, I make the noise. Point to him back there. Pew! And then him. Pew! And then her. Pew! And then her. Pew! And then her. Pew! And then her. Pew! And her. Pew! And then her. Pew! And then, hold on, get him. Pew! Go to her. Pew! Her. Pew! Her. Pew! 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 Sit down. Keep the thing there. You have to look in there. Look in there. It's really cool. Yeah, look how that works. Like, really look in there. Pew! Eyes on me, all of you. Take a deep breath of air in. And hold it in as long as you can. Hold it in as long as you can. But the second the air escapes from your nose or mouth, you go into a deep sleep. Hold it in as long as possible. But the second then the air escapes, deep sleep. Oh, there's your smokers. Wow, look at it, he's not even flinching. It's like Aquaman, there we go. Deep sleep.
So there you have it, guys. The list of skits you could do when they're hypnotized. A couple of great ways to put them to sleep. Get original with it. You know, let this inspire you to come up with some fun things that you could do that match your personality a little bit more. And yeah, just have fun with it. Okay, so you know how to structure your show now. You know what the skits are that you can write. You know, you could borrow some of mine in the beginning, that's fine. But what order? Like, what do you do when? Like, what's the best way to do it? Well, okay. Obviously, first of all, if you go back to the previous chapter, you know that you want to start with your 1s and your 2s and your 3s and keep your 4s and your 5s for the end. That's obvious. But here's a couple of other things to keep in mind. First of all, individual versus collective. So, am I doing the skit to one person or many people? Well, it depends on the skit. If it's something that's very chaotic, like there's a lot of things happening, then one person. For example, my karate skit. If I had everybody on stage saying I'm going to do karate at the same time, it would be a disaster. So I picked 2 people. You go up to 2 people, and remember, you say, if you're doing an individual one, you touch them on the shoulder and you go, person I'm touching now, and person I'm touching now. At the count of 3, only at the count of 3, you'll sit up, blah, 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 blah. If you're going to do that, individual, you have to tell everybody else what they're doing as well, even if they're not involved in this. Are they going to sit up and just eyes open and check it out, or are they going to stay in their chairs in a relaxed position? I do both. There's a point in my show where, for the karate, 2 people get up and go do the karate. Everybody else is just there with their eyes closed, just relaxing. But then when I do the thing where the girl's counting her fingers and she can't count, and number 7 is funny, and the guy's talking to his nipples, where everybody else is just eyes open and they're just sitting there and looking around. There's also a chance for me to test and see if anybody's finding this funny. If they are, I'm going to wake them up and get them off stage.
Person I am touching now, person I am touching now, and person I am touching now. The 3 that I just touched. At the count of 3, only at the count of 3, you will sit up as a pop open. You will listen very carefully to the song that will be played. For the rest of the show, regardless of what is happening, I don't care. When that song starts to play, you will all advance to the front of this stage. You will go all the way to the right, past the speaker on the stage. You will stay in the middle between the 2 speakers, and you will go almost straight in front of you to the left of the speaker. You will bow to the audience, and you will believe yourselves to be world-class karate experts. You're here today to put on a demonstration for this lovely room full of students. Now, very important, this is not a fight. You are not fighting anyone. You're not fighting each other, and you will never punch or kick any objects, cameras, cameramen, people, or hypnotists. It's very important. You're here to do a kata. That's just a very high energy sequence of punches, kicks, and screams. Bah! That kind of thing. You will do your routine as long as the music is playing, very high energy, and when the music stops, you will be very confused, you'll have no idea what's going on, and we will go on with the show. Once again, person touching now, now, and now. For the rest of the show, every time you hear that song, you advance to the front of the stage, bow to the audience, and do your amazing demonstration of karate. Now, very important, no flips, no splits. None of those. I've seen both, it was bad. Only the 3 that I touched. The rest of you, keep your eyes closed, nice and comfortable in your chairs. Only the 3 that I touch now. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open. Only the 3 that I touch. Guys, what the hell? What are you doing? What's happening? Well, I'm trying to do a show and you guys just stand. What are you doing, dude? What? What are you doing? What's going on now? Why are you guys here? You're standing. Go sit down. Go sit. All of you, sit. Yeah, no, it's fine. Go sit.
Collective is something they're all going to do together. It's very funny. It also gives you a chance. This is great to do in the beginning because it gives you a chance to see. Earlier we were saying, who's deeper, who's not. To see who's deeper, who's really taking it to heart. Like, for example, when I do the cold, right? I want to see who's like sort of like this, and who's like this with their head poked into their t-shirt and like hugging the person next to them, like who's really cold. Because that's the guy I'm going to use to do a couple of deeper things soon. So Collective is great in the beginning with the orchestra, with the snow, to really get a good look at who's doing what and see, okay, who are my good ones? Who am I going to pick on? Eyes open versus closed. Do we do skits eyes open or closed? Well, it's very simple. In the beginning, you do a few with the eyes closed, including the orchestra. I love the orchestra because when their eyes are closed, they can't see each other. So if anybody's really not into it, I could go get rid of them. While everybody else is doing the orchestra, I just go to them and go, open your eyes, look at me. How do you feel? You okay? Good. Go back to the audience. Just like that. I could start weeding them out during the orchestra. That way, I may not have to do it again and waste time. Then I have them open their eyes for the first time with the snow when it's cold, and forever after that their eyes will be open. Now the cold is for me again a test to see with their eyes open, did I lose anyone? Because sometimes you do. Sometimes when they go from eyes closed to eyes open, you lose them because they wake up. So it's a test for me to see who's really freezing. And you'll notice when I do that, when music's playing like the cold, and I'm walking around and I'm clapping to get them cold, I keep talking. Now, the audience can't hear what I'm saying, but I'm pounding that suggestion colder and colder now. You can't feel your feet. You got to start rubbing. You got to start rubbing. I'm really pushing that in. Take a look.
At the count of 3, only at the count of 3, you all set up your eyes open. You listen to the song that we'll be playing. Throughout that song, every time I clap my hands and make this sound, you will notice that your body temperature will drop. Like the first clap's going to be like just a gentle breeze, like it's a little nippy. But the second clap and every clap after that, it's like freezing. Now, we're in the state of PA, so a lot of you know what cold weather is like. But if you don't, I want you to just imagine what it would be like to be in a freezer. Every time I clap my hands, you get colder and colder to where it's like sub-zero, but like dangerously so. You will do everything you can to keep warm. That includes pulling down your sleeves, poking your head into your shirt, rubbing your legs. I don't care, whatever you can to do warm. You can even snuggle up with the person next to you. Just remember to keep this PG. Yeah, I mean, you have to. You cannot leave your chair, you cannot leave the stage. Very important, you must stay at your chair, but you'll just get colder and colder every time I clap. Here we go. Only at the count of 3, all of you eyes open. 1, 2, 3, eyes open.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping.
Let that cold go away. You're feeling good now. You're feeling good. You're feeling like maybe that warmth comes back.
So as you can see, it's not very obvious that I'm talking, but I am. I'm put because the audience is too busy laughing at what's going on the stage, but I'm pounding that in colder and colder, really pushing them to really feel whatever it is I've suggested. Finally, in audience or on stage, there are certain skits you're going to do, not too many in your show, where you send them out into the audience to do whatever it is they're going to do. I do this when I turn them into monkeys. With their trainers, they go out into the audience. And when I turn them into superheroes, they go out into the audience and demonstrate their superpowers. Yeah, in your show, maybe have 1 or 2 points where you send them out into the audience. It's definitely a lot of fun. Make sure you get the deep subjects that aren't going to like leave. Always suggest that they can't leave the audience or the stage. If they're going to get up from their chairs, always make sure you suggest you can't leave your stage. And that's it. Just do it once or twice. You know, if you come up with some funny skits where it might be funny for the audience to see it up close, send them in the audience and then call them back up. And that's really all there is to it. That's the decisions you have to make. So let's go for like a basic good idea for a structure. Maybe you start, so you always want to start with a collective eyes closed. That's always what you want to do. Like my orchestra or something like, you know, you could do the cold, but with their eyes closed. That could be a great test. Or the itching with their eyes closed. That's a good idea. So you always want to start with the collective eyes closed. Then you probably want to go to a collective with eyes open. See how they handle it with their eyes open. Something easy. Maybe an easy role play. Maybe an easy amnesia, or maybe an easy catalepsy. You know, maybe getting them stuck to their chairs. Well, that's in my show as well. So that's collective with eyes closed. Maybe something a little more elaborate. Maybe you tell them they have magnets on their body, and whenever you stick to parts of their body, they're stuck and they can't move. So that's an easy collective catalepsy with eyes open. So maybe from there you go to something individual, like you pick on one person who's going to forget his name, or, I do the whole counting thing, but it could be anything. It could be maybe you're going to turn them into, earlier we were talking about a poet from outer space. And here's the point where I pick somebody that something's going to happen every time throughout the show when I say their name. So during my snow, my collective eyes open, I'm seeing who's really good, because I'm going to give them something like, for example, every time I say your name, you fall off your chair. Be careful not to hurt yourself. So that's hilarious. Every time you say their name, you're going to fall off their chair. Every time I say your name, your chair's going to be really hot. You're going to have to get up and switch over to another chair. Imagine how funny that is. You say their name, they get up, they go sit somewhere else. You immediately say their name again. So I got to get up and go back to the chair they were just on. So maybe you pick on someone individually, or maybe two people, each doing something different. From there, maybe you do another individual one or two, or maybe you go to a collective with eyes open, like a big role play. Vary it up. And then sky's the limit after that. Maybe you do a couple of individual, pick on 2 or 3 people hallucinations. And then maybe you go to a collective role play. Totally up to you. Are they making a movie? I don't know. Are they comedians? Are they ducks in a pond? I don't know. The sky is the limit. You know what you could do from the previous chapter. Figure it out. Write an awesome show. Yeah. So there it is. That's how you structure your show. Okay, so we spoke about this a little bit. Haven't spoken about this yet. Very important. How do you put them back to sleep after each skit? And then how do you wake them up? So how do you put them back to sleep? Well, we spoke about fractionating earlier and how effective it is. But even for putting them back to sleep, you could go individually or collectively. So collectively, quite simply, you tell everyone, eyes on me, everybody, eyes on me, deep breath of air in, and sleep. And they'll go boom, right into their chairs. Now, here's something I forgot to mention earlier that's so important. In my induction, when I'm going to go touch their shoulders and they're going to go sleep, I say, you will always stay in your chair. It is impossible to fall off your chair. I say in the beginning of my induction and the end. The last thing you want is somebody falling off their chair and knocking their head on the stage or something like that. If somebody does fall off their chair, despite your suggestion not to, you go to them, touch them on the shoulder, and you say, at the count of 3, person I'm touching now, eyes open, 1, 2, 3. You sit them in their chair and you go, look at me in my eyes. You look them dead in the eye and you go, you will never again fall off your chair. If you do, or even come close, I will wake you up. I will take away this amazing, relaxing feeling that you're feeling right now. I will wake you up and I will send you back to the audience. I promise you this was the last time you fell off your chair. Sleep. Now watch, and it should be good. Threatening to take away that relaxation is a big thing that you can use to get them to stop doing things you don't want them to do, because they feel so good. That's the reason they're falling off their chair. They're so relaxed, but you take that away. Safety comes first, okay? So when you put them back to sleep, you could do it collectively, or you could do it individually. And to do it individually, you just go up to them, take their hand, look in their eyes, say, take a deep breath of air in, and sleep, and just relax them. Or just look at my hand as it approaches your forehead and sleep. Anything works. I have a couple of original things that we looked at earlier. Find a few of your own, like just interesting ways to put them back to sleep. Anything goes. They're in trance. Like what you say goes. You know what I mean? Like write on a piece of paper, have them look at it, go to sleep, whatever, doesn't matter. Anything works. So the wake up. Waking them up is as important as putting them to sleep. Requires the same amount of silence. So remember, whether you want to do it on stage or out in the audience the way I do it, come up with a nice way to wake them up. So a lot of hypnotists do it on stage, a lot of hypnotists do it out in the audience. You have to take your time with this. You have to take a minute to put in the suggestions of how they're going to feel, how they're going to come out of this. And really make it very clear. And it's like a suggestion, but it's more elaborate. When is it going to happen? What's going to happen? How is it going to happen? How are they going to feel? Give them those suggestions. You're going to feel great. You're going to sleep great tonight. Here is a look at the way I wake them up. Take a look.
People on stage, at the count of 3, you're going to sit up here, it's going to pop open, you're going to go back into the audience from which you came. You're going to sit down in the chairs from which you came. If your chair is occupied, it doesn't matter. Find a nearby chair. You can also sit on the floor, like in the halls. Just find a chair or sit on the floor, really doesn't matter. The second you sit back in your chair, go roughly where you were though. The second you sit down, whether it's in your chair or on the carpet on the floor, you will go right back down into a deep sleep, much like the one you're in now, but 1,000 times deeper. Now, hold on. Mind your heads, don't knock your heads on a chair. Be very careful with that. So you're gonna go back to your chairs, deep sleep in your chairs. Not yet, sleep for now, not yet. When this audience gives you a standing ovation for the amazing job that you did, and they will give you a standing ovation for the amazing job that you did, the second they applaud, the second you hear those applause, you will also stand up. Not because you want to, but because you have to. Because at the second that you hear those applause, you're going to feel that somebody, you don't know who, and you're not going to blame anyone, but somebody gave you the world's strongest wedgie. If you don't know what that is, it's when somebody grabs you by the underwear and pulls you to your feet. If you're not wearing any underwear, pretend that you are. At that moment, that wedgie will last about 3 seconds, and you will wake up immediately feeling fantastic. Full of life, full of energy, just sort of so refreshed. Like you just woke up from a nap, a long nap, a nap without dreams. That's right, you will not remember a thing that happened here on stage today. You're going to rush up here on stage. So I'm going to be up here with Jocelyn, signing posters, getting some pictures, answering some questions. You're going to come up here to shake my hand to apologize for missing the show. The second your hand touches mine, and you can't leave this auditorium without coming to see me, you will be 100% convinced that you fell asleep and missed the whole show. The second your hand touches my hand, or Josie's hand, either one of our hands, that's the little girl you saw levitating before, the second your hand touches either one of our hands, and I will tell you when to shake, you will remember everything. In that one moment, it'll all come rushing back. Now guys in the audience, this isn't the part of the show where you guys sit there and watch. This is the part where you come up here with your phones and you put it right in their face. Because the moment they touch our hands and they remember is the best part of the show. Bar none. You see the memory come back. I can't explain it, but you actually physically see the memory come back. So when that happens, when the show's done and they get their wedgies, just come on up here with your phone. A lot of us are going to be here, some will be there. We'll try to do this so everybody can see. Try to keep it down, but you're definitely going to want to get that moment on camera where they remember it. It's sick. It's amazing. Best part of the show. When you touch my hand or Josie's hand, you'll remember absolutely everything. It'll come rushing back. You'll feel great about what you did on stage. You will feel great about the experience that you had here on stage. It'll be such a positive feeling, such a great feeling. And you will go on the rest of the day, the rest of the night, the rest of the week, and the rest of the week, the rest of your life with that amazing positive feeling. Just feeling great. Feeling so good about this experience. Tonight you will have a great sleep. One of the best sleeps you've ever had. You'll wake up tomorrow feeling absolutely refreshed. Feeling positive in every way, ready to start this new semester. That's about it. At the count of 3, eyes open, returning to your chair, sitting down, deep sleep in the audience. When they give you that big round of applause, you wake up because of a 3-second wedgie. You come up here to apologize for missing the show. The second you touch my hand or Josie's hand, you remember absolutely everything. You feel great about it. You had such a positive experience. Cannot leave here without coming to see me. And until you shake my hand, you will not remember a single thing. At the count of 3 now, all of your eyes open. Nobody make a sound. That would be very confusing. 1, 2, 3. All of your eyes open. All of your eyes open. Guys, go back to your chairs. We need the stage. Go back. Grab your stuff if you have anything on stage. Let's get the house lights up a little. Okay, if you have anything on stage, guys, you want to come and get it?
So as you can see, I take all the time in the world to make sure that this is going to happen progressively and slowly, and everyone's going to feel great after the show. And now, it is possible to make it so that they never remember what happened, but I recommend against it. Give them that memory, because you just don't want trouble afterwards. Let them remember. That way, by the time they leave, you know everyone's okay. Speaking of running into trouble, this next chapter is going to be troubleshooting. A lot of different things that could go wrong and how you solve those things. Okay, so I want to take some time to talk about troubleshooting, guys. Here's some difficulties you could run into as a hypnotist, and then finally my sort of solve everything problem. Let's start with the classic line that I hear like every day in my life. I don't believe in hypnosis. So you tell somebody you're a hypnotist, or they come to you after your show. That's the worst, after your show. It's like, I mean, you just saw the show. It happens more rarely, but you tell somebody you're a hypnotist, and they go, oh, I don't believe in hypnosis. Here's a very simple answer to that. I don't care. Like, no, seriously, it's like if you went up to somebody and you said, I work at a McDonald's, and they go, oh, I don't believe in McDonald's. Like, what do you mean? It's a thing. You know, like, it's a thing. Like, don't tell me I don't believe in hypnosis. Anyways, so in case that happens, here's a line I love. Love this line. They go, I don't believe in hypnosis. I go, oh, that's interesting. Is it Freud's stuff you don't agree with, or is it more of Erickson's theories that you have a problem with? Specifically, which one? And they're going to be like, they don't know what that means, right? So they're either going to be stumped and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. You go, exactly, you don't know what you're talking about. Go get informed, and then we'll have a discussion. That's it. Sometimes I go there if I'm really pissed off, but often I don't, even because I don't care. Like, they go like, I don't believe in hypnosis. I'm like, cool, good for you. Anything else? You know, like, don't try to over-justify or over... It doesn't matter, because when you're in front of an audience of people, you don't need everybody to believe in hypnosis. You just need enough people to be willing to try it, to put on a show. Who cares if they believe or not? There it is. That's the answer. Second one, you can't hypnotize me. Good for you. You know what I mean? Like, don't waste your time to be like, yes, I can. No, no, no. It doesn't matter. You're wasting your breath. Dunninger, a mentalist, once said, for those who believe, no explanation is necessary. For those who don't, none will suffice. Don't bust your butt trying to explain to people that you can or you can't. It doesn't matter. When people say to me, you can't hypnotize me, I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear you have brain damage. And they're like, what? And I go, well, yeah, it's been scientifically proven that the only people who can't get hypnotized at all are people who have brain damage. Was it an accident, or were you born that way? And now it's like they have to like almost justify their dumb statement. You know what I mean? So you could go with that if you want to, but more often than not, just, okay, fine, I can't hypnotize you. Good for you. Anything else? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have patience for things like this, personally. Like, I make a living as a hypnotist. I've been doing it for years. I believe in it. So it's like, I don't care what you believe in. If you think I can hypnotize you, fine. I don't care. Go away. So yeah, that's kind of an aggressive way to start this section, but, you know, it is what it is. Everything is normal. This is important. If somebody comes up to you after being hypnotized and says, oh, I feel a little lightheaded, it's normal. Oh, my legs are tingling, it's normal. Oh, my arms, it's normal. Oh, it's normal. My eyes, it's normal. Everything's normal, because you don't want to get into a big discussion with each individual case and how they're feeling now. Whatever they tell you they're feeling, it's normal. It's fine. My head's a little wheezy. Yeah, that's because you were relaxed. You'll walk it off. You'll be fine. Oh, my legs feel a little numb. Yeah, that's just because you were in hypnosis. It's totally fine. Happens all the time. No matter what they say, unless it's extravagant, like they're still hallucinating things around them, in which case we're going to talk about what you're going to do. But unless it's something drastic, just, it's fine. It's normal. It happens all the time. Don't worry about it. A lot of the time, the people who are doing that, like coming up to you with every single symptom, they want the attention. Now, you never tell them that, but just, it's fine. It's normal. Walk it off. You'll be fine. Everything is normal. Also, this is another thing to keep in mind during the induction. Let's say you're doing an induction, somebody opens a door in the back. Like, you hear the sound. That's really annoying. But it's normal. It's fine. Use it. Be like, you know, and as you hear the sound of that door, you allow yourself to relax with everything you hear in the room. Anything. All of a sudden, the air conditioning starts to go and it's getting colder on stage. You go, and you might notice that this stage is starting to feel a little bit colder, a bit of a breeze, and that's fine. That'll just relax you deeper and deeper. Whatever is coming in, use it. Everything is normal. During hypnosis, after hypnosis, everything is normal. Okay, stuck. Let's talk about these people. These people. People who after the show are either stuck, or they come up to you and they, you know, they're still hallucinating things, or certain suggestions didn't go away, or they're still very much still like this, right? Or you told them to remember everything and they don't. So something didn't work. Something went wrong. Very simple solution to this. You sit them down. You look in their eyes. You do a quick version of your induction. And when I say quick, I mean a 30-second version. A countdown, progressive relaxation, close your eyes, and just say sleep. Because they're obviously still in that state. Something about waking them up didn't work right. So you put them back into that state, and you just do it again. You just wake them up again, but a lot more forcefully this time. And you say the line from earlier that we discussed. You say, I'm going to count to 10. At 10, your eyes are going to open. You're going to come back into the room, and you're going to be 100% awake, 100% aware. If you do not, which you will, I will remove your ability to ever go into hypnosis again, and you will never in your life again feel this amazing sense of relaxation you're feeling. Because maybe a lot of them, what they're doing is they just want to hold on to this trance because they feel so good. But you tell them, if you don't wake up at 10, you will never again feel this state, ever. 1 and 2, your mind slowly comes back. 3 and 4, you remember everything. 5 and 6, this isn't a question, it's a fact. 7 and 8, in a moment you will wake up. 9 and 10, eyes open, bring it all back now. And you just look at them, bring it all back. How do you feel? And you look at them right in the eyes. How do you feel? You feel good? You feel good, don't you? Good. That's it. You just put them back in and bring them back up. It should never take more than one more time to wake them up. If they... in my whole career, it's maybe happened once that somebody would just refuse to wake up. And all I did is I said, look, we're going to do this again. And I did it a third time. And I said, this time you're going to wake up for sure. And it's not even a question. And I did the same thing again. And I woke them up and they were still like this. And I go, you know what? Go home, sleep it off. There's a certain point where it stops being your responsibility. You did it the way you're supposed to do it. If that happens, it's so rare. If it happens, call me on my phone or Facebook me and say, I will talk to the person who organized the event and say, listen, I've been doing this for 10 years. I teach classes. I have a degree in social psychology. The person we're dealing with, your subject, is exaggerating. Let them go sleep. They'll be fine. They're being a fussy pants. That's it. Look, like I said, don't panic about this because it doesn't happen that often. But if you really try everything and they're still sort of playing like they're hypnotized, they're probably just trying to annoy you. Try the best that you can. Take your time. Try to wake them up right, max 3 times. And after that, tell them, just go sit in that chair for 10 minutes and it'll start coming back to you. Just make it up. Make it up. Like, just find a way to just get them up. Just figure it out. You know what I mean? It shouldn't happen, though, so don't worry. Finally, all these things can be avoided, all this skepticism and this stuck thing, if you remember that ice is the most important thing on that stage and off that stage. Particularly in this case, the I, you being informed about hypnosis, and the C, you being comforting and confident. You will wake them up a lot more effectively if they know that you know how to do this. Especially when you're saying things like, well, that never happens. Nobody ever gets stuck. You're informed. If you don't seem informed and confident, they might not be so confident in their state. Does that make sense? So I'm going to help you guys out in that department, especially in the I department, the informative. Off the top of my head, I'm just going to throw a bunch of fun facts about hypnosis, answers to questions about hypnosis that I get a lot. That way, you seem informed. Whether it's so you could pepper these into your pre-show to sound more informed. You can sort of talk about this as answers to questions, just to give you a bit more information. But do your research. Go on Wikipedia. I'm going to recommend some books before we go here that you can use to further your knowledge. Please read up on this. Don't use this DVD as your only source of information on hypnosis. In your pre-show, in your post-show, you should have these answers. So here we go. A couple of fun things. So let's talk about what hypnosis is, what's happening, and a couple of ways that I like to describe this. So if I ask you right now to raise your hand, you can do that. You can raise your hand. If I were to grab a ball and throw it to your face and you were to raise your hand, that wasn't a conscious decision that you made. You just raised your hand to block it from your face. That goes to show that the unconscious mind and the conscious mind can make us do the same things. In this case, raise our hand. Hypnosis is just the idea of leaving the unconscious awake to do these things, to control your body, but putting the conscious to sleep. So, for a moment, your conscious is not making the decisions, but your unconscious is still awake, so it takes my suggestions and turns them into a reality. That's a fun little way to describe hypnosis, and it also makes you seem quite informed. There are specific cases in initiations in colleges, like fraternities, where they said to a student that they were going to hit him on the back of the neck with a sword, but they only hit him with a wet towel, and the kid actually died. That goes to show how powerful suggestion could be. Suggestion is being used in media, in advertising, all over the place, where people study ways to make suggestions reality. This is a studied science, and there's thousands of studies where they see how the way you speak to somebody can change their decisions. Look up things like the hot air balloon study, the Xerox study. Look these up. I'm not going to give you an education here about psychology. What's another one that I like? There's the Disneyland study. That's such a good one. The Milgram of how authority can affect your behavior. That is such a good example of hypnosis. And you could sound so smart if you quote the Milgram study, Milgram. That's the Milgram. Solomon Asch, go look him up. Scientific study that proves that if a group of people believe one thing, it can influence the belief of one person. This is all hypnosis. It's all how things can affect our thoughts. Look that stuff up. Another interesting something that I like to say is, now this isn't informative, you're not teaching them anything, but it's just a cool way to think about it. I say, imagine if an alien came from a foreign planet on which sleep didn't exist and hypnosis didn't exist, where neither of those two things existed. And you had to describe each of these to the alien. Now bear with me. You described him two states. One is a state where you're so relaxed and comfortable that somebody's giving you suggestions and you're just doing those and believing those because you're too relaxed to critically judge that. That's state one. State two is a state where for anywhere between 5 to 10 hours, you're completely immobile, lying down. You're there, you're alive, but you're not consciously there at all. Like if I were to talk to you, you wouldn't hear me. You can't make any conscious decisions. You can't move. You can't go anywhere. And you're visualizing this movie that doesn't make any sense to you if you were to think about it. But in that case, it makes sense to you. A dream, right? That doesn't make any sense. Technically, sleep is a very weird state. But because we do it every night, we accept it more. So would this alien accept the state of sleep or hypnosis with more ease? I think hypnosis. I think it's a lot easier to grasp the concept of hypnosis than the concept of sleep. Sleep is weird. So why is it so hard to accept hypnosis when every night we go into this state of like coma for like 8 hours and these dreams happen in our heads that we accept at the time? Like to me, sleep is weird too. So I like to throw that at people sometimes. So the more you're informed about hypnosis, go read up about it. Read up on Erickson's work. Read up on a guy called Abe Faria. He was the Portuguese guy I mentioned earlier. He was the first one to do hypnosis on stage the way it is done now, although Mesmer had a hand to play in that as well. Mesmer, who discovered animal magnetism. He would have people hold these big metal beams, and he would hypnotize them and get them to do stuff, and he thought that he was rewiring your magnetism. Later realized that it had nothing to do with the magnetism, it was just the suggestions. Read up about all these people. Here's a couple of suggested readings that I love. Anything from Erickson, if you could get your hands on that. Anything from Richard Bandler, if you get your hands on that. Really great stuff. Look this stuff up. The New Encyclopedia of Stage Hypnotism by Orman McGill, the greatest and most complete book. In fact, when you're done with this DVD, don't go out and try this stuff yet. Get that book first, read it. It's really going to solidify what I've been talking about, and then go do it. It's really not expensive, but it's such a great book. Another favorite of mine is by Jeffrey Roning. It's the Roning Guide to Stage Hypnotism. Great book. So anyways, the more you inform yourself, take these fun facts, go read up on it online, read these books, the more informed you are, A, the more you can handle situations like this, and B, the more you just seem informed and confident, and that helps your audience feel more informed and confident. So before we go, are you ready to now go do a hypnosis show? I don't think so. First of all, go through this DVD a couple of times. Really get everything I said in there, because I've been doing this for 10 years, and I just gave you almost everything I know on the subject to be able to put together a good show. If you had to keep 3 things in mind when you're up there, it's ice, 100%. Lock that in there so much. Ice, 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 ice. A great pre-show and a solid induction. That's what you need. After that, you know, you got to know this stuff, but those are the 3 really important things. Want to thank Murphy's Magic for the awesome time they put into working on this project and just bringing you guys something that's so complete and so comprehensive, and I think it's really important. So Murphy's Magic, big thank you there. I want to thank you guys for sitting through this. It's not really easy to learn hypnosis. It's not like there's a fun trick and you're practicing, it's knacky. It's this really big discipline that's really sometimes, very challenging to learn, but put the time in, I promise you, you'll reap the benefits. So I think, there isn't anyone else to thank. Murphy's and you guys, the people who are bringing this to you and the people that are bringing it to. Guys, really give it the time it deserves. Like I said, I can't stress enough you reading up those books I recommended, reading up on the subject, being informed so that you can really hit that I and that C when you're talking to people. You can really answer their questions if they have any. And you could just put on a great show. Take the time to go through DVD again. Build a good routine. If you have any questions, find me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. I will be happy to answer them for you. Just Spidey Hypnosis everywhere. You'll find me. And yeah, guys, I can't wait to see what you guys, put together in some of your shows. Like, enjoy this. It's so much fun. Bye.